And the podcast will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the concert king himself, here in the flesh, Mr. Martin Nievera.
Clapping for myself. Thank you so much. I'm clapping for myself. Awesome. And thank you for dinner, by the way.
Oh my God. Bitin, we should have eaten more.
We should have eaten earlier.
Oh.
Yan ang sakit namin ni Robin.
It was Robin Nievera's fault.
We always look forward to our first meal. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How have you been?
This is a lovely home you've got here.
Thank you.
They have trees here.
Thank you. I was going to say, we have everything. We have goats, llamas, trees, and all that stuff.
Two of everything.
So anyway, thank you for being here.
Of course.
It's a privilege, and ganito na lang. How do I say this? We had 32 episodes in the can on season 1. And we have 5 episodes before you here in season 2. And on behalf of all the guests that have been to Paco's place, when I say concert king, kinikilabutan ako, ayan o. You actually just validated everyone who came on the program.
Wow, thank you.
So thank you.
That's good, right? Validation?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
So on behalf of everybody else that have been here, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
And it was so funny because like Robin's been a friend of mine for a long time now. And thank you for trusting me to take care of your son.
Thank you for taking care of my son.
Yes.
And I think the mom would want to say the same thing because we don't know who his circle of friends are. And we're happy it starts with you.
Thank you. But like talagang sabi ko nga, hindi kami magbarkada but we're brothers.
That's nice.
So that's what I say.
That's nice.
And then he just blurted out, "You want my dad's coming?" And I go, "Okay. You want him on the show?" I go, kaya shout out Robin Nievera. So kaya sabi ko, is that even a question? However, we all took pride on the fact that none of us actually suggested you to be on the show.
Really?
Nope.
Then you don't need me.
No, pero out of respect, Mart, to the concert prince or your prince.
Prince of Pops. Out of respect, diba? Like it was really, no one's gonna mention Martin or Pops. It's really, I want to watch that podcast.
It's Robin. No, when Robin's with us.
That's right.
It's all about Robin.
And that's what I'm happy about. That's why I wanted to come to Los Angeles first. I wanted to see the Robin you're describing.
Yes.
Kasi yung kilala namin ni Robin sa bahay, syempre, he's our little baby, our firstborn. Right. So to see him in his new roots, North Hollywood.
I mean, God.
Come on. And the music that he's surrounded by, and then good friends like you.
Not only us, but the network that he is cultivating.
Yes.
Na talagang hang out with real, legit,
I know,
local producers.
I thought he was name dropping, but it's not name dropping. It's for real.
Yeah, that's your son.
Right.
In LA.
That's awesome. He knows how proud I am. He knows how proud we are. But he also knows how much we miss him. Now with this pandemic and all, parents who have kids all over the world and family, you worry about them.
Yeah.
More than ever, times 10 at least.
How many kids do you have?
That I know of?
Yes. That you are 99.9% sure you...
99.9% sure. 3.
Okay.
3. At 99.9%, 3. I know for sure. Robin Ram. And of course, Santino, who lives in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And why are you here in the States?
Well, actually, I came to. I'm just so happy I was able to leave because ang dami mga intriga kung can you leave, can you come back, can you fly? Even your mother-in-law were talking about it. We were saying, is it easy for someone with a blue passport to travel back and forth and so on? So
and you have a blue passport.
Yes, I was since I was the age of 10, but I'm a dual citizen.
Okay.
And with this form that makes you it's an oath of allegiance or something like that you need to take to prove that you are also Filipino.
Okay.
And that form it's like a letter or a notarized letter that says that you are dual. They're allowing that. So that's my ticket in. Santino has it. I came here to pick up Santino to bring him to the Philippines because he is bored sick here in America for now. Anyway, for now.
There's nothing to do.
There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do in the Philippines either, but somehow we click. I don't know if it's a father-son thing, but he has a different relationship with me than he does with his mother in Las Vegas. So he wants to see Boracay. He doesn't know it's closed. He wants to see Balisin. He doesn't know it's closed. But that's the selling point of getting his butt to the Philippines. So I would love to do the same for Robin, but I don't want to ruin his stride.
I know, he's in his flow.
Right? You got to let them go. And one thing I appreciate most about Robin is he really wanted to make it here on his own without leaning on a name or leaning on a parent.
Nope.
He's in a bit. No, he wants to go on his own, and I respect that.
You know, like, niloloko nga namin si Robin, sabi namin, let's write a song. Well, okay. And I go, I have a title. And he's like, what's the title? Sabi ko, Lady Be Mine.
I bet you he said no.
Yes.
See?
Oh, you didn't say no?
That's how well I know him.
Oh, no. You said, Robin's here, by the way. You said,
Did you say let's do it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Diba,
I want to hear that.
Diba, ganda, Be My Lady. Ito naman, Lady Be Mine.
Why
diba?
not? Oh, diba?
Parang si Heaven goes by the name of Heaven Knew.
Heaven Knew?
Because my song goes, Heaven Knows.
That's right.
So siya naman, Heaven Knew.
Okay. I like where this is going. I want to hear that song.
Lady Be Mine?
Lady Be Mine.
Why not? Diba?
Right?
So, speaking of songs.
No, let's not Be My Man. We're good. Be my significant other. Okay, let's be politically correct. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot where I was. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. Speaking of songs, talking about whatchamacallit, You Are My Song.
Oh.
That, when, the reason why I've always wanted to ask you, when you wrote that, did you write that for yourself or did you write that for Regine?
I wrote that for Regine. It's funny how you mentioned that song because that's one of the songs that took me the fastest to write. I was stuck in traffic. I got a call from Louis Ocampo. The phone was like this pa. Hello? Hello? And he said, I have a melody. I need lyrics. And here's the story of the movie. It's going to be a theme song for Wanted Perfect Mother, kind of like a Sound of Music. You know Sound of Music, right? Where the Yaya falls in love. I mean, the music teacher or whatever. Anyway, so that was a similar story with Christopher De Leon and Regine Velasquez. So, You Are My Song.
So you, while stuck in traffic.
30 minutes. 30 minutes. Right in front of the Forbes Park gate and on EDSA, I finished the song. From the Pasay Road to almost Buendia, 30 minutes in traffic, You Are My Song.
That's how Robin Nievera wrote his album.
I believe.
In traffic. Not in 30.
Also in traffic? Do you write your songs in the bathroom? I wrote a song in the bathroom once.
What's it called?
Never mind what I was doing. Never mind. You use your imagination, but you know what the name of the song was?
What?
Paradise. Think about it. Thinking, where's your mind tonight? What are you thinking? It's Paradise. Yeah, that was a good song.
Was it a fast song or a slow song?
It's very jazzy, about a basha.
Okay. So why did you, going back to You Are My Song?
You Are My Song.
So nag-hit. Whose idea was it for you to revive it?
Well, it's funny now. I revived my own song. It was actually the recording company because in a movie, when it's a movie theme, it only lasts 2 weeks. You know that? I don't know the rules back in Manila back in those days. I think this was the 90s, right? 96 or 97. So they said, sayang, ang ganda yung song. Vic De Rosario and Chito Ilagan, and these are names I'm sure you know, that they fell in love with the song. They said, sayang, we need to really push it. So when Louis and I re-recorded it, Louis says, but we have to make a difference. So they added a bridge.
Okay.
Maybe we can last until...
Yes.
In the original, wala yun.
So that was an idea that you were like, okay, I'm going to revive my own song. Was that the first time you did that?
Revive my own song, yes. First of all, I'm not really a legit songwriter like Robin. I'm one of those, I have to be in the mood. Someone has to give me the music. I'm not a musician. I can't even read notes or chords. So I really was in a songwriting mood at that time. And it just worked out perfectly. And then Louis made the melody for the bridge. Yung parang ibang flavor, very David Foster, very Chicago. And that's where that came in.
Okay. Then the reason why I asked that was because when I was younger, I saw an interview between you and your dad the late Bert Nievera. And I'll never forget that nice rapport that you guys had. And then he was, I'm paraphrasing based on my memory, wherein sabi niya, when you were young, he would actually, I think the tip he gave you was try to sing in as many styles as you can. You guys talked about that on TV.
Yes.
Diba? And I was looking at him, I was so proud of you. And then I became closer to your son before being like this with you now. and my thing is, you have always been proud of your son, but your son turned out to be not only a good singer, but also an instrumentalist.
Yes.
How did it go from the late Bert Nievera down to Robin and you in the middle? What was the feeling like? Did you push your son to...
I wish I could take credit for Robin's musicality, but I think I was adopted. Of the three, Bert, Martin, and Robin, I was the one adopted because Bert was the original singer, performer. He would always tell me, look into the spotlight. And then I look at my dad when we sing a duet, his eyes are closed. I have no idea. I said, Dad, you said look in the spot. Even when Lolo sings, it's always, you could, Dad. So I don't really know what that meant, but I think he meant focus and your eyes need to communicate.
Right.
But here comes Robin with his musicality, his gift of guitar.
Yeah.
His gift of making melodies work in a way and then to make a message that, to put words into a melody the way he does,
Yes.
it doesn't have to be the kind that rhyme and the obvious, you know where it's going to go kind of a song. That's talent. That's really talent. So I don't know where he got that. I've always been a frustrated songwriter. I've been in high school. I used to get beaten up because they thought I was gay. And back then, gay didn't mean what we...
Yeah.
Gay back then meant a
When
wimp.
you get into sport, but you're a good basketball player.
Only when I got older. When I was a kid,
Okay.
yeah, I was gay, actually. That's really... I was a wimp. Yes, I was a nerd. I was the one that doesn't go to the dances to dance.
Yeah.
Just to go to be seen. And then after 30 minutes, I go home. You know?
So, so that's Robin. And then you have Ram, who's also a good singer.
Great. Actually, would you agree? Ram is actually the best singer.
Yes, that's what...
His pitch perfect. Yes, Ram. The way he articulates, he's clearer than both Robin and I when he sings a song. And he's got a range that we didn't know he had.
high voice, right?
Not even he knew. Really high. But all of a sudden, he'll just whip out a song from, what's the name of that guy? I don't want to close your eyes.
Oh, Aerosmith.
Aerosmith.
Steven Tyler, yeah.
Where did that come from? Bert Nievera, Martin Nievera, Robin Nievera, Aerosmith. Tell me. I don't know. Again, I was adopted.
And then you have your youngest son, who is a drummer.
He's a drummer. You'd love him. Of all the many things, my son is on the spectrum, and we tried many things to see where his focus would be. But they say kids on the spectrum, they have some sort of a genius.
Yes.
So we tried everything. He has a violin. He's a really nice violin. He has a piano, and he has a little keyboard. But the one he loves is the drums.
The drums.
The drums is the one where one hand is, one hand is doing one thing, and then the 2 feet are doing something else.
Polyrhythms and all that. Yeah.
And then he sings. So that, I think you have to be not coordinated. It's the opposite of coordinated, I think.
Syncopated ba? What's
Parang ganun,
uncoordinated?
There's no such a word as uncoordinated. I don't think, no. You have to be weird. You see, you have to, like him, you have to be weird. Like this guy. Because you have to be able to do so many things at the same time. And for a kid like Santino who doesn't know how to focus, the drums is where he focuses.
Ako ganon. I don't know how to focus also.
But when you're on the drums...
Ako pa leader, di ba? Yeah.
Oh, talagang. Hindi alam ng mga ibang band, mga musikero na the drummer is the most important part of the heartbeat of the heartbeat of the band.
Like sabi ko nga, you have a good drummer without a band, useless. You have a band with a lousy drummer, useless.
Exactly.
They have to be cohesive. Okay, so that's that. Now, so your kids, did you push them to do music?
Opposite. With Robin and Ram, and just like when I was growing up, my dad, of course, Bert Nievera, he was an entertainer his whole life. So we never saw him. So they wanted me to finish school. You need to have a fallback plan. Same with Robin. But Robin, I didn't even know, locked in his room, I thought girly magazines. That's what I thought. Sorry. Right. I thought girly magazines. That's normal, right? Yeah. And then music started coming out of that room. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he literally taught himself
How to play guitar?
how to play the guitar. It's not in the blood. It's not in our system. My grandmother, you may not even know this, my mother's mother was an opera singer.
So puro vocals talaga.
And then biglang dumuting si Robin with this guitar, with these notes, with this blues, very bluesy style that he has.
From the heart yun.
A lot of musicians have come up to me, and that's the biggest compliment you can get. It's not your son knows how to play the guitar. They say, your son is a good guitar player.
Yes.
That's two different things.
Yes.
So when the Rick Mercados and the Noel Mendez, what's his last name?
Mendez.
When they come up to you, Mark, yung anak mo si Robin,
Yeah.
he's a good guitar player. Wow.
Yes.
Music to my ears.
Like
Literally.
I told Robin no, na when we jammed, we played some 90s music. It did not sound that he was copying 90s music. It sounded like he was a musician from that era playing like that. And then
The
you hear him
blues.
doing his stuff.
Right.
Na parang sabi ko, ang galing niya mag-shift. Right? So, you naman, growing up, you mentioned, who was Martin Nievera growing up?
Oh, God. You don't want to know me.
We all want to know.
I was such a nerd.
But then how did the nerd end up being the concert king?
Well, that in itself is a good story because during my whole grade school until my first year of high school in America, I was bullied. I would have lunch and recess in the bathroom. Ang mga kasama ko, the mentally challenged and the obese.
Wow.
Yeah, this is no joke. I was always in the bathroom with these special people. So it seems to be my calling, I guess. But anyway, only because I was afraid to get beaten up. And then all the way till second year high school, actually, I would actually put lots of quarters in my pocket. Because as I'm passing to get to my locker, hey, they always get me for my lunch money.
Yeah.
You'd think, by looking at me today, I was a much thinner person. But as a kid, I was malnourished because I never had lunch.
Oh my God.
Because people were stealing, hitting me in the stomach, threatening my life in the hallways just to get my lunch. So I was giving, just here, just leave me alone. Here, I was literally throwing quarters on my way to lunch.
So
That's my whole life story. I was always bullied. I was young.
But was music in your heart?
Because of my father and watching him perform with a group called the Society of Seven. I don't know if you know them.
I've seen them live.
So you know what I'm talking about. He was the balladeer.
Okay.
I would watch him as a kid in Hawaii, where I actually grew up. Every single night performing, I said, I want to do that. Wow, how does he hold that note so long? And then,
Nakakatawa sila, no?
diba? And isa pa yun, yung ibang members na Society of Seven, they're so good with comedy, with spiels, with ideas for songs, with medleys. Yung mashup ba ang tawag
Was
niya?
the late Gary Bautista part of the original?
He was the one who replaced my dad.
Oh.
When my dad went to a solo career and wanted to spend more time with the family, he left the Society of Seven on their 10th year. Now they're almost 50 years.
Yeah.
And they just lost the genius, my uncle Tony Rivivar.
I know.
He just passed away. And you know who his son is, don't you?
Who?
Tony Rivivar's son is Anthony Rivivar. He's an actor here in Hollywood.
Okay.
You know that Haunted Hill or something? You know that show? It's on Netflix.
Haunted Hill?
Something on Haunted Hill. Anyway, he's been in many TV series and movies. He's a movie star, and then people don't even know that he's Filipino.
So Society of Seven, you witnessed that. You grew up
Every
to
day.
that. And what was in your head?
Well, when I was a kid, hiding under the sound mixer in Las Vegas, Nevada, the place called the Thunderbird, the Society of Seven is performing opposite of topless dancers. So while watching the topless dancers dance, illegally watching them, I said, this is the job I want.
At 12?
Yes, 12 years old. I was under the mixer with the other kids of the other, like that. So how come her chest is huge? And you're looking at yourself, what happened to me? And anyway, so that I knew while watching them, and then the reaction of the audience, the standing ovations that they would get. But what makes an audience stand? You know, I was so...
Okay, so you really had that in your head
Oh,
already.
in my head, that's my dream. I want to be able to sing a song that will make the people stand up, and not because they're leaving and it's the last song. I wanted something impressive to hit them in the
So
in the heart.
interactive, to be interactive.
That's
right?
what I learned.
Learn from whom?
All 7 members. Now, each member of the Society of Seven had a different characteristic.
Yes.
2 of them were comedians. One of them, the one who just passed away, was the genius, the writer, the spiels, the delivering of spiels bago. Importante yan, ha? Yung
Yeah.
setup before a song,
Yeah.
di ba? Hindi lang, this song was written by so-and-so in 1994, here we go. Nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear a little chit-chat.
To connect.
Connect.
Yeah.
And to get their attention during those days as compared to today. Kasi today, medyo yung the attention span
Very
of
short.
people, very short. They're already, all right, instrumental. That's a nice song, whatever. But back in the day, you really had to keep their attention and keep them in their seats. And at the end, get them off their seats. And that's what the art form I'm still, to this day, trying to master. And I learned that from the Society of Seven.
So crowd reading in itself is an art form.
It is. It's hard. It's really, imagine depending on how big your crowd is. So I've always told people, when you're in front of a huge crowd, you treat them like a small crowd.
Right.
When you're in front of a small crowd, you can afford to treat them like a huge crowd.
Yes.
You don't really have to talk to them because they're right there. But a big crowd, they're all losing their attention. So you have to look here first. And then the rest of them will be looking at them. Why is he looking only at them? And then you turn over here. Oh, he's not looking at me anymore. So lahat, once you know, you as a singer, as a performer, you will feel that people are paying attention or they're not.
Right.
There's no middle. It's they are or they're not.
So when was the catalyst that when Lola Bert went solo, when did you go, now let me dissect my dad, and then eventually, Dad, when do I get to do what you do?
Exactly. And that's exactly how it happened. Because
Okay.
when he went solo, wala na yung mga comedian, wala na yung mastermind, yung nagsusulat yung mami ko.
Oh, okay.
That's why nag-aaway, mom and Lolo and Lola, always fighting. Always. Because my mom, my dad doesn't talk like my mom. I don't know about you and your wife, but
True.
Who's the one who speaks? Di ba,
Yeah.
mas magaling grammar niya.
Siya.
Ikaw, mas magaling ka magana. What's up, people? Come on! 1, 2, 3. That's not really a language. But the people love it, right? Here comes my mom, like your wife, with these highfalutin words. And my father's like, good evening. Pleasant good evening to you all. Long pause. I forgot what I was going to say. Ganon. But if you leave him alone, he's a comedian.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous. He never had the opportunity to because andyan sa harap yung nanay, yung asawa niya / scriptwriter. So you better get it right. Because tonight,
Oh, so where were you in all of this?
in the behind laughing my ass off because I said, my God, let him speak. And that's when I learned, you have to really know how to
So, okay.
ad-lib.
So while you were watching your mom and dad go back and forth, ikaw naman in your head, dapat ganito, dapat ganito.
Exactly. And that became a hobby of mine. And my twin sister also. Don't forget, I'm a twin.
Oh, yeah.
So both of us always dissecting, what does mom really want to say? Why can't dad just say it this way? Or you know what? I think dad's first song could have been his third song. Yung
Right.
segue.
Yeah.
Sana walang instrumento. Anong ginagawa ni daddy kung hindi?
Ang galing, no? So ibig sabihin, para kayong courtside, di ba?
Yes.
Na nyo, nadadissect nyo lahat.
Yes, na-analyze.
Now, did this become your bag of tricks when it was time for you to shine?
I think it automatically became a bag of tricks because I've worked with so many directors, Fritz and Fante. I love them all.
Galing teatro si Tito Fritz,
That's
di
what
ba?
I'm saying. Pero si Martin hindi. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you give me those highfalutin words also, I will have the same reaction that my father did. So I found that when given a script or a guideline or whatever, and I can now feel when it's not working with them.
Right, with them.
So then I'll know when to adjust or stop or change or shift or tell Louis or Marvin, next song na lang, next song.
You know what? That's good. Like isipin mo you're in front calling audibles to the rest of the team.
Exactly.
Sa intro voice, I'm the guy at the back, crowd reading, calling audible to everybody in front of me, including Jonathan. Kasi sa amin dalawa ni Jonathan, ako naman yung crowd reader.
Well, si Jonathan naman medyo shy siya, di ba?
Yeah.
So we need someone like that. And that's what I became. And then the singing came second. If you watch my very first concert on television, you won't, well, actually, you've never seen it because it was never aired. Only because it was the worst. Rob, you can count how many times I was in tune.
Really?
Because back in the day, we didn't Folk Arts Theater. We only had like two speakers. But the place was packed with people.
And then ang ingay pa.
And you can't hear yourself. And that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. That's why I couldn't hear the band. I couldn't hear one, not the piano, we were not before.
Meticulous
Oh, yung
with it.
drum, papakat mo yung kick. Kailangan ko na kick. O konting snare. We weren't like that before. Kung ano yung sound, yun na yun. Diba?
Kanta, sing.
Not one good note. So it was never televised. It was televised, but never shown. I think they burned it. It was that bad.
And we're back with the Concert King, Mr. Martin Nievera. So, this is good stuff. Now, Hawaii or Vegas? When it was your dad, was it Hawaii or Vegas?
When we were as kids with Dad, it was Hawaii.
And then Vegas.
We went to California first, Concord, California. We near the Bay Area, where we went to finished high school and 2 years of college. And from there, we went back to the Philippines.
I see.
Vegas was part of my childhood with my dad.
And Society of Seven.
And Society of Seven. They were always in Vegas, Hawaii, Vegas, sometimes Puerto Rico, different places. And I watched it all.
Now, you went home to the Philippines. Was this your first time as a teenager ba?
I went to the Philippines for the first time in the summer when I was 14 years old, just to see my homeland for the summer.
Right?
That was it. But in 1982, July 5, 6 in the morning, just kidding. That's when I went back to the Philippines to try my luck to be a singer.
What was the conversation before you tried your luck? What was the conversation with your parents?
We just had this conversation, right? We just talked about this.
Really? Okay.
Just yesterday. My dad knew I wanted to be a singer. And I was part of a performance group that were tap dancers, singer. I mean, iba-ibang class. Parang Fame.
Right.
Parang ganun. So long story short.
Sa mga hindi nakakalam ng Fame, parang Glee.
Parang Glee. Exactly. Iba-ibang singers that go perform. Yeah. There's a host. I was a soloist. I did a duet. I was part of a quartet. And then there was a tap dancing group, all different ages. So after that, I had a chance to audition in Hollywood. This is why our stories are almost the same. Almost. So I went to an agent's mansion. Dad said to me, "We're moving back to the Philippines. And I know that you're doing this, blah, blah, blah. I'll give you two choices. Here's $1,000. You can stay here and try your luck. Or you can come to the Philippines and I can help you using my name." Sabi niya. Ako naman, "I'll take your money, Dad, and I'm gonna make you proud." Right?
Yeah.
So I go to Hollywood, into a mansion up in Hollywood Hills somewhere, where they had all these people in these very stiff couches watching an audition, me and some other performers. So after I sang, I don't even remember what I sang. The guy says to me, "What are your other options?"
Ooh.
I thought that meant, "What are your other options?" I think it really meant, "Don't call us. We won't call you." So he says, "What are your other?" I said, "Well, I'm supposed to go to the Philippines." "Oh, in the Philippines, I hear there's a lot of great singers there. Maybe you can go to the Philippines, get more experience, and then come back."
They said that?
So I went to the Philippines. Of course, my dad was laughing his off. And he says to me, "So you came back. Now let's try and see what we can do." So after that, I never went back to Hollywood. I stayed in the Philippines.
So when you were in the Philippines, what did your dad, what was the priming of the pump, so to speak? What did he do to jumpstart your career?
Well, the first thing that I did, the last thing I did before leaving was I joined a singing contest here in California. It's called the California State Talent Competition. It no longer exists. 4,500 contestants from all over California.
Oh, dami.
You have to be represented by a dance group or a voice teacher. I had neither.
Wow.
So I had to find a voice teacher, and I did. "Can I use your name? I have to give you a few lessons." Only to find out that she was one of those who gave lessons to Barbra Streisand. Little did I know. So anyway, that's just a backstory. So I joined this singing contest. It's a 4-day. Wala pang American Idol. Wala. On those 4 days, you have to win the first to compete in the second and so on. On the third day, you become the champion of your category. On the fourth day, all the champions of every category competes against each other. Nice concept nga. But 4,500 contestants. My name was not even Martin. My name was 1049.
Oh, by number kayo.
By time of performance. My time is at 10:49. My song is only 2 minutes and less than 3 minutes.
They had to edit out one verse.
Ako nag-edit sa cassette. Ako
Oh
nag-edit.
my God.
The song was The Greatest Love of All, and I won on the first night. I won the second night, and I became a champion in the male solo department, right? Then in the overall champion against champion, I became the overall champion of the state of California, 1981.
Did you go take up voice lessons ba?
3 or 4 lessons.
How'd you know you were good?
I didn't know I was good.
But you
Of
were
course,
good.
my dad was teaching me on the, every so often.
Right.
We worked in a restaurant. It's called Roadrunner Burgers in Concord, California. At the end of the BART station, it's no longer there. It's a parking lot. And we used to cook burgers. And while we were cooking burgers, radio was playing and we'd be singing songs. Chicago, Kenny Loggins, That's
Yeah.
where I fell at Al Jarreau.
Yeah. And you had to really try to emulate them.
Exactly.
Yun-
James
Yun
Ingram.
yung kwento. Yeah.
So doon ang galing yung style ko. But my dad was always teaching me, son, you have to look into the spotlight and then you have to sing from here. Your diaphragm. Son, is that what you're using, Dad, to talk at the moment? Because it's scary. That's exactly what it is. You have to. You have to use your diaphragm.
Now your sister, she was your confidant also, di ba?
Well, we're twins, so there's
Exactly.
no way avoiding her.
Right. So how and you were telling her everything that you were going to do up until what? Your journey to the Philippines.
Yes. She knows my every dream. She also wanted to be a singer. Tita Vicky's actually the original singer. Guitar all din siya.
So she plays.
Nako-compose. She has only one element that I have that she doesn't have, and that's insanity. You have to have a little insanity to be in this business.
Right.
You know that. You have to be
Yeah.
a little crazy, live on the edge, make a few mistakes.
Plenty. Okay. So now
I was the plastic. I was looking at the... Ang ganda. Ganda yung plastic.
so
Maganda siya.
so now, Mart, you're in the Philippines. Who discovered you?
The reason why my July 5 is so stuck in my head.
Yes.
July 5, 1982, I came out on a TV show called Pilita and Jackie. Stop it. Stop it.
How's,
Stop it.
okay.
And on July 5 was my first time to ever be seen by the public. And Vic De Rosario saw that show and said, this guy needs to be a recording artist, blah, blah, blah. So on July 5, 1982, my first TV appearance was on that show. Then Student Canteen, Eat Bulaga. You know these shows? You're too young. You know
No,
this.
I know these shows.
You don't know these shows, right? You do? Okay. You can just Google it.
Yeah.
Google it, guys. Student Canteen, Eat Bulaga. Eat Bulaga's still there.
Yeah. Okay. So you appeared, and then when you were on these shows, did you feel how are you treated on these shows? Oh, anak ni Bert Nievera yan. Was it like that? No.
That's how it started until the English came out. And that's it. Nobody liked me. The beginning of my career, no one liked me. Except some of the screaming girls because, the hair, the parted in the middle, no makeup.
Ganun,
Yung talagang bagong gising lang. Yan itsura that during the 80s. Now
Yeah.
talagang, look at all the guys on TV. Puro makeup. Ayos ang mga
Right,
buhok
right.
nila. Puro buff. No, I woke up in the morning, brushed my teeth, Student Canteen.
Were you a regular in Student Canteen?
No, but I became a regular guest.
Regular guest in
Yeah.
Student Canteen. Bobby Ledesma pa nun, di ba?
Bobby Ledesma, Eddie Elarde,
Helga-
and Jackie Lu
Helga-
Blanco.
Ay-
Stop it. Stop it.
I'm not saying anything.
This is very nice.
Okay. So now, Pilita and Jackie,
You don't know
Student
that
Canteen. Pilita and Jackie, Student Canteen, Eat Bulaga. When did the first song, Vic Del Rosario brought you in and said, Martin, we need to record.
So he asked me, Martin, we need to record. Do you write? I wrote one song before I left for a girl I was seeing in California. Her name is Holly. So I wrote a song called Holiday.
Okay.
So you don't even know that song.
No.
That's how bad my first song was. No one knows because it didn't hit. It's on the same album as Be My Lady. So you can
Really?
see why, yeah.
Okay.
So Be My Lady also wasn't meant for me. Be My Lady was recorded by another singer named Pedrito who interpreted it in the same Metropop where I was interpreting Pain. Remember Pain?
Yeah.
You like that. You're a drummer. So all the syncopation.
syncopation, yeah.
Ang hirap.
Yeah.
It took me 7 hours to record Pain.
And I heard from Odette Quesada, who was one of our guests, talagang basagan daw ang recording for Metropop.
Basag. As in, because, well, the reason why I had a hard time is because of the syncopation. Balladeer ako.
Yes.
Tapos bibigay mo sa akin ng isang song na syncopation. Nako, nahirapan ako talaga. Thoughts I have of you. 7 hours later. That's why it's called Pain.
Oh my God. So, Metropop, out of the way. Boss
Holiday,
Vic,
yeah.
Boss Vic said, record an album. What were your expectations?
It's always been my dream. I don't know about Robin and the likes because they don't make albums anymore. I mean, it's not the thing you're supposed to do next in your career. It's in my career back then. It's the one thing you needed. Your ticket in was a long
To
playing.
legitimacy, yeah.
Exactly. Not anymore today. No, I don't know what it would be today. What would be the equivalent?
Album. He has 3 albums.
No. I mean album. Yung 30,
Oh, vinyl, yeah.
Vinyl.
Yeah.
Yung ganun. Now it's a luxury. If you guys do it now, it's for collectors only. And mataas ang back in the day, they used the albums of other singers that didn't make it. They melt it. It's the truth. They melt the plastic or the vinyl, and then that became your new album.
Yep.
That's what I was living for. It was my dream. Then I see the orchestra. Because back in the day, wala masyadong synth,
yeah.
diba? It was for real violins. Na 4 became 8, became 16, you know? And then 2 backup singers, which became a choir after. I said,
Yes.
this was magic to me. How are you able to put all these people into these little knobs? It was just fantasy. All my dreams came true the first day I went into the recording studio.
Who was managing you at this time?
Just family. My sister Gina. We didn't have a manager. We didn't have anything. We didn't know anyone or anything. We just walked into the right breaks. I was one of those singers who came in at the right time. No one was doing what I was doing. And it had nothing to do with being multi-talented, because I definitely was not. But the fact that I came in when I did and there wasn't too many people doing it, that's how I became king, because I was first. Not because I'm a king. It's a big difference. When people ask, how do you feel when people call you concert king? I say, it's not that I feel I'm a king. It's because I'm performing for an audience, big or small, that deserves a performance fit for a king.
Amen.
That's how I deal with that.
But that's true, kasi when, ang nakakatuwa sa'yo, people may not know this, but they see you as this big person, and I've seen you as a big person, and then I've seen you as Martin with no ego, no nothing. You know, tahimik lang sa isang kanto, may ka-holding hands and all that stuff. Pero hindi, sabi mo magkapag-usapan, hanggang doon lang ako, di ba? Anyway, but I was like, oh my God, si Martin Nievera yun. And I don't know why I had to say your whole name, but...
Because it's easier than saying your whole name.
Right. So, and you were like, hey. And then we had pictures, and I was like, I told my mom, I was just with Martin Nievera. And she was like, really? And so it was imprinted in me na, okay, a big star can be so cool backstage. Because wala naman ako alam ng mga time na yun eh. I was like 13, 14. And after that, when I became a musician and was on your show, on screen and off screen, guys, what a humble person.
It didn't start that way, though, just so you know.
Really? Tell me more.
When I became, when fame came so fast.
Did it get to your head?
It did get to my head. It would get to anyone's head if you were an overnight success after my first album. And again, my first song was awful. No one liked it. It didn't even hit. But because there was no one else doing what I was doing, I was the flavor of the month for many months. And then when I started doing concerts in venues that no one else has ever tried, like the football field.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
University of Life. Remember that place?
Yes, UL. Na naging, yeah.
Ang mga bida sa music at the time was Rage Band. Remember the Rage Band? So they said, why don't we join forces with this new guy, Martin, who seems to be moving up the ladder. Up and coming. We'll call it Martin's Rage. That was the best and the worst decision I ever made.
Was it scary?
It was oh my God, I've never thrown up before a show. That was the only show that I've thrown up
Let's talk about risk. Because you were risking your short career dito. Crossroad to di ba? Martin's Rage was, you either make it
or break it.
Parang Hollywood or bust ng Rage, di ba?
That's right.
So you either make it or break it. Who said, I think we're gonna make it? Was it you or was it Gina?
Nobody said we're gonna make it, but obviously we were riding on each other. I was riding on the fame of this band
of Rage,
who would fill up every little bar and this is, but they were riding on me to get those 45,000 people. Some of them were also their fans, but I was bringing in people, the Folk Arts Theater.
Right.
I did it one night, and then I think I'm the only artist who had a repeat 2 weeks later. We don't do that 2 weeks later. It's the next month or maybe the next 3 months later. So we were counting on the amount of people to come in. So we were actually using each other. But why say it's the best? Best because it was a risk.
Yes.
And that's what the younger artists should remember, that our business is all about risk. You make it, you break it. One day you're it, one day you're it with the SH in front of it. So in my case, why it was the worst is because I changed my songs. Be My Lady became a rock ballad. Did you know this?
No.
Me. I was dressed like Elvis, came back from the dead, number one, wearing the colors of Michael Jackson, who came back from the dead, although he was alive at the time. This is 1984.
Yeah.
And I changed my look. I changed my style. I changed to be a rage band member. And they were very wild and crazy with their clothes before.
With their
Juan Miguel Salvador.
Glam hair, David Lava.
Yeah, exactly. And they were very, very cutting edge to the point where no one really, they were ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Because now bands talagang kailangan may image ka. Diba?
Yeah.
But in your voice, you have to have some sort of what is your thing? In the Rage, it was even the look, and I changed from balladeer to rockista. Wrong move. Only on my second concert. Can you imagine?
Kumbaga wala pang branding, nag-rebrand ka na kagad.
Exactly. Yan ang mali. Doon ako nalaman, or that's when I learned that I should just stick to what I know.
Right.
So Be My Lady, when I sang Be My Lady, some people were actually booing.
Oh.
Because how dare you try to be a rocker when we just want you to hear that romantic beam. They want to hear that. And then some rock from the band. And then you again. No, I tried to be just like them. So that's why it was one of my worst. But one of my best is because I've never had 45,000 people in my show.
And we're not talking about Ultra, we're talking about the football field.
And that was right after the Ultra. I opened the Ultra, remember? On the right track.
Yeah. Yung pa. Saan mo nakukuha yung falsetto nun?
Because I didn't have a very high voice. I mean, I couldn't really hit those high notes. So I learned from Kenny Loggins, especially Kenny Loggins, a lot of a bit of reverb, a lot of a bit of reverb, and anyone can sing falsetto, just so you know. And that's where it came from. Reasons from Earth, Wind, and Fire, Philip Bailey. I just started to hit those high notes, and that's where I started becoming like a Kenny Loggins sound-alike, or wanting to be anyway, with Heart to Heart and This Is It, Footloose. That's when all those songs came in.
Okay, so now this is the 80s, and you're gaining momentum. Parang hindi matatapos to. Everything's just coming in. Everything you touch is magic. Blah blah blah, and all that stuff. And then someone does an imitation of Michael Jackson. And now Gary Valenciano's in town.
Yes. That was actually the best thing that happened to me.
Really?
Well, you don't have Jollibee without McDonald's.
Right.
And you don't have McDonald's without Jollibee. And now the audience that I thought was all mine is now split in half. But the good news for them was we have something else.
Right.
Not that same Be My
Exactly,
Lady.
right? Very opposite.
Very opposite and very welcome to the music industry. We needed some sort of a change.
Hindi ba kayo nahirapan mag-Tagalog pareho?
Sobra. Gary naman, no. Mas mabilis si Gary mag-Tagalog.
Yeah.
In my case, it was Ikaw ang Lahat sa Akin.
Yeah.
Which, did you know, was an English song.
No.
Yeah. I wrote that song from someone who you actually know, Monching. And it was an English song called You're Everything to Me, or You're My Everything, or You're Everything to Me, something like that. And it was Louis Heredia, who was friends with Cecil Alarcon Picasso, and says, can you talk to my friend? Who's your friend? Martin Nievera. Oh, I know him. So we talked on the phone, and I said, we were talking about songs, and long story short, my English song, she said, would be better if you did it in Tagalog. Let me write it for you. Ikaw ang Lahat sa Akin.
Nice. Oh my God, talagang intertwined. No?
Yes.
Grabe. So now you and Gary were here. Sabay kayo umakit. Kumbaga, ang tingin ko sa inyo parang William Gabby eh. May William Martinez, may Gabby Concepcion.
I just want to know, who's Gabby? I just want to know, which one of us did you think was Gabby? I just want to know.
O nga, sino nga? Ako, I think you were Gabby. Kasi makulit si William, makulit si
on stage.
Di ba?
Pero alam mo, we learned, because Gary and I work together lately a lot together. He's more makulit than me. Literally. I mean, he's just, you don't see it on stage because he's so protected.
Yeah, prim and proper.
He's so protected. That's the only word I can think of. He's always behind this facade that's, I know it's not him. He's the best jokes.
Talaga?
He has the best, you don't even know. He has the best punchlines. He'll say to me, bro. And and I start cracking up. I said, why don't you say it on stage? Say it. No, yun na lang, bro. Yun na lang. Eh, wala na yung oras. Tapos na yung joke. But yeah, Gary, when we were actually rivals for a while. We
literally rivals.
Literally, because
can you kwento to us?
Well, because the fans before, if you back in the day, now
Very possessive
is it
fans.
following now or hits? What do you call it now? Whatever it's
Followers.
called. Followers. Our followers then were real people. I mean, physical people you could see and touch. And I thought I had enough,
right,
to not be insecure of this new guy. But when he came along and started wiggling and wobbling on stage, move your body, you know, wala na si Martin, wala na. He left me in the dust.
You felt that?
Of course, but you know what? Even back then, I was rooting for him because we became friends.
Pero time out. Pero going back, don't you think Martin's rage played a part in discipline? I'm not going to go there because I already went there with rage and it did not work. I stick to my guns.
Yes.
And let Gary be Gary. Did you feel that? More
than ever, when Gary came, we went the complete opposite way, which is the way I started.
Right.
Tama ka. When yung pinalit ko yung image ko, mali. I should not have done that. So when I went back to the old me and found that I could do television and things like that, somehow without even trying, nag-branch out kaming dalawa ni Gary. He was only responsible for his following and me for mine.
Right.
For me and him for him, not because of him, not because of me. Only to find out that I think both, I don't know if I can speak for Gary, because of our rivalry before, the rivalry ruined our friendship. We were really good friends.
In the beginning.
We would hang out in his house. He showed me I have your cassette. I had a cassette already at that time. Yung ganun kami nag-usap-usap, talking about what we want to become, how we want to be, showing what our autographs, how we'll sign when we become big stars.
Before you were big stars, magkasama na kayo.
Friends na kami. I don't even know. I know why pala. Because we were always in the same, yung mga shows, Marino.
Oh yeah, yung variety show.
A variety show.
Who'll play last?
Exactly. Who's gonna play last? And last means midnight or something.
Yeah.
Not who's gonna play last because you're the bigger star.
Right.
I want to go home already. Parang ganon. So meron kaming ganon. So it started there, the friendship. We'd hang out with each other. And then we became rivals. And it started with an article that came out where it said here, sino sa tatlo ang magiging tatay?
Sino yung pangatlo?
Do you remember that or no? You were not born yet. You too. You definitely. It was Martin, Raymond Lauchenko, or Gary V.
Okay.
So who of the three are going to become? That's where, oh my God. How did we get into the picture? Diba? Kami ni Raymond. Because it was Gary who was going to become a father. So it started there because then everyone started blaming the other for revealing the secret to this reporter that he's going to be I said, I don't, and Gary, he told me that secret. Right. He goes, bro, I got to tell you something. And so he thought I was the one who started the rumor. That's how bad the rivalry was before. Siyempre, yung number one rival ni Gary, si Martin. So si Martin, absolutely not. Absolutely. If anything, when it comes to things as serious as that, you shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Diba? All bets are off. Between guys, kahit competitors, that's the worst. Now, if Gary V went off in a concert out of tune, ayan. Baka pwede si Martin yun. Or if Martin fell off the stage and he came out, baka si Gary yun.
Pero yung mga personal na...
Bawal. Yeah. I don't know about these days, but back then, bawal.
One of the singers of a popular band, I told him that Geneva was pregnant. He told everybody. Oh, I confronted that guy.
You see?
If we reach 500,000 views, I'll reveal who that guy is.
What a goal! What a goal! Over 500 views?
500,000 views. Sikat na ano yun ha? Sikat na singer ng banda nung 90s. Ayun.
Ha?
Yeah, you can guess,
Yes.
Robin. No, but yeah, those things you don't say.
No, bawal yun. Taboo.
It was said to you in confidence, di ba? You keep it in confidence,
Yeah.
right?
It's sad nga because I'm going to show you something later when we're done here. Gary just sent me a commercial that we did in the 90s. In the 90s. And we cannot show it or share it because he now endorses a different brand. So anyway, I'll show it so you'll laugh.
So
So it ruined the friendship.
Yeah.
It ruined the friendship that we were rivals. And it hurt both Gary and I because we really had to live the role. We had to, I'm sorry, not live the role, play the part
right.
of rivals.
For a
For
long
the
time.
long, but in sa loob-loob lang, we really liked each other very much.
Did you guys miss each other?
If you watch my old footage of all my shows, he's always in the second row. Always. Why? Now, how is that a rival?
But the first row.
And me-
So hindi kayo ganun close.
And me and his, and the same, me and his shows as well. To this day, we were rivals. We were friends. We became rivals, and now we're brothers.
And we're back with Mr. Martin Nievera. Now, di na kayo nag-uusap ni Mr. Pure Energy, Gary V. You miss him. But before we talk about you guys getting back together, did you guys being separated help in terms of your career by helping you just focus on you and not knowing what the other is doing?
On the contrary, we studied each other. We knew exactly what the other was doing, so we did the opposite.
Okay.
You get mo? So kung gagawin ni Gary ng, kunyari, music museum, Martin will do a venue a little bigger.
Right.
Then Gary will see that I'm in a bigger thing. He'll go to the Araneta. If I did Ultra, he was Araneta. If I was Araneta, he was ganon. So it really helped. And the market was growing. In fact, a lot of artists that followed us benefited from this because now you know the gauge of success back in the day, not now, was how big your size meant everything back then. How big your venue is. We know that doesn't hold true anymore. You can do a show right here in your garage and still have the same amount of people and amount of success. It doesn't matter anymore, but back then it was everything.
Now, you were this big star. Gary was this big star. And then in the middle, lumabas si Louis Heredia, si Kino, si Randy Santiago. How did it feel na, dumadami na yung mga solo singer. And then ang rage went to America, medyo nawawala na yung banda. Now it was you guys dominated now by solo artists. How did that feel?
Well, if you want to talk about that time when Randy and all those, Gino Padilla,
Kino, Louis Heredia.
there were only a couple like Louis Heredia who were balladeers. The rest followed the path of Gary, one with shades.
Yes.
Well, coming from the Cicada band, he had that experience of how to deal with an audience and so on. So everyone had their niche. But really, I can speak for all of them, and this is the 90s already, I can speak for all of them when I say...
late 80s pa to.
Late 80s pa. Okay, so when they came, it complemented what I started. It complemented what Gary started.
Kasi they were more like somewhere in the spectrum of in between both of you.
Right, and it helped us a lot because now they have what we call today a peg.
Now, exactly. But did it polarize both of you and Gary?
Actually, no, because
okay.
parang back then we had our own niche already.
Right.
We didn't really worry about anyone who followed our style or our footsteps because I'd like to think that neither one of the names that you've mentioned ever wanted to. They weren't out to be in the business to try and be the next Martin. Louis was Louis.
Exactly.
Gino was Gino. there was no other Randy than Randy.
Yes.
And the mystique of what's behind the shades.
Oh my God.
To this day, I mean, he would get the crowd going with not even being on stage.
Yep.
Well, hindi pa kumanta yung tao.
Gumagano pa lang nasa salamin niya, di ba?
How many people do you know that can just go like this with
Like
their
this,
shades and sigawan na ng tao?
Yeah. I tried that with my pants. Wala.
No, I know. Same here. Me, now it's the mask.
Is it fair to say that, come to think of it, your worst competitor is actually yourself?
It truly is.
Diba? Ignore the competition because the competition is you yesterday.
That's
Parang
right.
ganon.
But back in the day, in the 80s, we didn't think that. You need to be in the business and be slapped around a little bit to understand that my biggest competitor is myself.
Now, that being said, while everybody, they were doing the whole singing thing, Penthouse 7, you were not a part of that.
No.
But it was there and then you were part of Penthouse Live.
Yes.
So how did this come about that you had the gift of gab?
I didn't know I had the gift at all.
Going back, a kid who was in the bathroom during recess and lunch, probably introvertish, but had that thing inside, had a twin sister, talking at home. How did this come out?
Maybe it's because I didn't have a chance to really speak, and also the influence I've had with all the movies I've seen as a kid.
And the Society of Seven, perhaps?
And the Society of Seven and all their jibber jabber on stage, and how it worked and sometimes how it didn't work. But the real reason why I learned to have to speak a lot and sometimes too much is because when I started Penthouse Live, they had different girl co-hosts. Before it became Pops, I had different co-hosts with me.
Like who?
Like there was Katrina Ponsenrile,
Okay.
who, I mean, she's now related to us.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law of my niece. And then there was, of course, Jackie Lou was there. Different girls were socialites, heads of businesses, not even showbiz are, hindi yung mga sikat. Anyone. And then when Pops came into the picture, with her looking at me like I was garbage, I mean, yeah, I don't know if you've ever watched the Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis movie. Have you ever seen a Dean Martin?
I've seen that. I've seen that.
I'm a huge fan. But just so you know, I was Jerry Lewis and Pops was Dean Martin. The one who was like literally annoyed.
Because shame poised.
Carrying on. And then, what did you say? Oh my God, really? You want to talk about this now? Anyway, don't listen to him. That was our rapport and that's the one that hit.
Now, does that have to do with Pops being royalty, so to speak, also?
At the time, no, neither one of us was royalty.
Kasi mga magulang nyo were actually...
Yes, that's right. Eddie Fernandez in the movies and Bert Nievera in the music industry. But they didn't even see us as that. They just saw us as a girl, very well-spoken, good English, good Tagalog, equally good Tagalog.
Kolehiyala ika nga.
Yeah, but ano siya, game siya sa lahat.
Yeah.
Parang one of the boys.
Now, how did you feel? Because bago dumating si Pops, may mga iba-ibang girls na nandun, and you were really bantering with all of them. And then Pops comes along. Did you have a say in sa creative team na iba to ha?
Not really. I was one of those who just did what I was told.
Okay.
But the only one I clicked with was Pops. And it was one of those, wow, I like this girl. I like this person. Not because she was a girl, a beautiful girl, but we just hit it off so well. With the other girls, it was Martin just kind of being in the background.
Or napupush mo na, sometimes you feel na, okay, I have to answer, parang ganun.
And to think I was still a very new host at the time. So you can't really depend on me at that time. But with Pops and I, we struggled together. We shined together. We harmonized together. We had friction together. And real friction. Everything you saw on Penthouse Live, nothing there was scripted or not one thing.
So parang cue cards nyo, how did it look like?
Ay, no. As in cue cards, 5x7. Wala pang idiot boards. You know what an idiot board is? Do you know what an idiot board is?
Explain it to them.
Well, back in the day, they were as big as this back of the wall here. That's how big. And the font was as big as your wife. That's how big the font was. Because ang layo yung idiot boards. What started out to be a 5x7 card turned into an 8x10, turned into a bigger paper, turned into the back of this wall. With the lyrics of the songs.
Oh my God, yeah.
With the spiels, with what you need to say. Some of our writers, our writer at the time, I think his name was Chito Blanco. God, I can't believe I remember. Very highfalutin words. Penthouse Live, Penthouse 7.
Social yun eh.
Social yun.
Yeah.
Until Pops and I came.
Okay.
And we became the just like college kids talking to each other, high school kids talking to each other.
Right.
That's what we became. And I think that became endearing to the people. And Penthouse Live became what all the shows are now. Like it's ASAP is Penthouse Live.
Variety show na.
Showtime. And I would like to think that Penthouse Live had a little bit to do with all of that. Like an amplified student canteen, an amplified Eat Bulaga.
So how did this partnership blossom into a relationship?
The friendship. I know Pops is one of those people who she can get along with anyone.
Was she dating when you were doing?
She was she was very young. Many suitors.
She
wasn't dating because of Lola, the Lola of Pops.
Lola Dulce.
No, the Lola of the mother of Lola Dulce.
Okay.
The pinaka Lola always tutok kay
Pops.
Kay Pops, so you couldn't really get near her.
Did she do this to you?
No, she did worse. She came out with, actually it was Mommy Dulce, who came out with white Pond's cream all over her face. Like this. Pops and I are in the den. with 90 other people because mga chaperone ni Pops. And then in comes the mom at 1 minute to 12 midnight. Because 12 midnight, wala na.
Okay, go home.
You have to go home. She comes in with a robe, with the white pond cream, with the first Tagalog words I ever learned. She said, Hoy, gabi na. That's it. Hoy, gabi na. Means get that out of here. And the white pond scream made it even scarier. So just so you know, but we hit it off so well. I mean, her sense of humor was my sense of humor. She was my the one I would go to with girl problems. She'd come to me with boy problems. The people who were dating or not dating, sending her things back in the day. When you court someone, it's gifts. They send you gifts, food, flowers, fruits, candy, and all of that.
So you guys were friends first.
The best of friends. The best. In fact, I think that's the reason why we're still very good friends now.
Right.
If your foundation is friendship, we were not a fling. We were not sexually attracted to each other. We were just the best of friends. I could trust her with anything.
Right.
She can trust. To this day, she knows all my passwords.
There you go.
That's how close we are. And change my sabi ng anak, change your password, Dad. But she and we I remember before when a guy would break up with her, huh? She'd call me.
So wala ka pang feelings kay Pops itong mga panahon na to?
Always may feelings.
Yun.
So masakit talaga.
So ikaw yung...
But because of the friendship being our foundation, it was so easy for me to not get, she's free now. Now's the time to hit, right? No. I knew how to be her friend.
So it happened, the relationship part happened naturally.
Yes. And started as the best. If you could be best friends with a girl, no physicality, walang pa-flirt, walang nothing.
Yung totoo lang.
Yung totoong tao sa totoong tao, Pops is the best.
Okay.
She's the best. And then to this day, she'll even give me advice now about my girlfriend. My finances, my passwords, the things I do, taxes, we were talking earlier.
A while ago.
She's teaching me, and I'm the ex. It sounds weird. We even go on tour together. My last performance.
That was a successful tour, by the way.
Did you watch that? Were you
I
there?
saw that. No, I was here.
Oh.
You were there, but I saw it on YouTube.
Oh, the one in Soler.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it started here.
Alan Dionis
All
was...
over America.
Yeah.
All over America, we performed. And easily, can you imagine, I was in a dinner. We were in a dinner in Beverly Hills. I think you were there. Robin and Ram. Tita Alice's house. Okay, Ram, Pops, myself.
Your girlfriend?
My girlfriend. And then in walks in the agent of a singer. I forgot her name. Tony Braxton.
Oh, okay.
And she goes, and you are. And when I said, this is Pops, the mother of my son, and this is Ange, my girlfriend. And she goes, she's a beautiful, very nice African-American girl. She goes, you live in large. You live in large. Amen to that. You live in large.
Ang sarap no when your past actually settles down and you can bring it to the present in a different perspective. Na may peace. Everybody benefits, no?
Of course, especially my kids when they were growing up. Syempre, ang daming suitor si Pop. Syempre, she's a really big loss. Ask any man who's lost Pops. It's an enormous loss in your life. And a lot of guys who have made it with her and not made it with her, I've always been tried to be friends with for that same reason.
Right.
Especially for the sake of my kids who are going to see both of us there. How will they understand?
Yeah.
So it's important that the dad is friends with, or the mom is friends with. It's very important.
And kudos to that because you have to be selfless to be able to do that for yung tipo yung mga kids dapat hindi sila magsasuffer and all that stuff, di ba?
And that's when I tell people, if you've ever wanted to admire Pops and I or follow us as fans, if you want to call them fans, I don't think it's uso anymore. This is the time. Because back then it was a rumored love. Then it became a showbiz love. Then it became real love. We had two beautiful children. But now to this day, this is what you call a forever kind of love.
True.
That we have for each other because there's no expectations. There's no, you need to love this way because you are the husband or you're the boyfriend or you're the lover. No. Whatever Pops and I are, I don't even know what it's called, but it's real love that's the forever kind.
Unconditional na talaga.
Unconditional. And you can't even say, for the sake of the kids. There's not kids anymore.
Yeah.
We don't even have to talk. You know, has some couples stay together. We have to stay together for the kids. For Robin and Ram, we were really a great team. Not the team that you saw on TV or in movies, but we were literally a real team.
Yes.
And it's team effort. When I'm not around, she became their father. She literally raised these kids on her own. So I don't have a mean thought in my head or in any of my bones for Pops because she raised my kids beautifully. They're beautiful men now. I had nothing to do with that. I had them once in a while. I was the absentee father. I was the one who screwed up, right? But to see how they've grown is a great tribute to what Pops has done through the years.
Kudos to. Shout out to Miss Pops Fernandez.
You should have her here. She has a lot of things to say about me.
Let's do that too. Also, about you admitting that you screwed up. How was it? And of course, there are viewers watching. How easy or how hard was it to own up to your mistakes? And why did you own up to your mistakes? Was it for your sake, for your kids, for your ex-wife? What?
You know, it's weird. I never really thought of it. I didn't quantify it and say which was a percentage for this. No, it was so easy.
To own up.
For some reason, when the camera is rolling like it is now, I think I can speak for a lot of people in front of the camera. You become very honest. And it was during a Mother's Day of all time, a Mother's Day episode of ASAP, where I just realized I can't do this, and we were just pretending.
Wow.
I was breaking this woman's heart, and she's just going on with the show to show you that there's nothing bothering her. And I felt so guilty that she wasn't throwing crap at me. She should have been throwing crap already.
Right, but she was keeping everything
But she
intact.
was keeping it in. I don't know if it's for her own self-esteem, like as you said, that list you just gave me. I don't know if it's for her own personal list of reasons why she didn't. But I said to myself, she needs to throw crap at me. I deserve crap. So I decided, I talked to Deo on ASAP. I said, can I do a solo? Back in the day, you could do that. Now, forget it. You need a 1 month reservation to do a solo. If that. So I said, sure. I guess, why? Why do you want to do well, it's Mother's Day. I thought maybe.
So you didn't tell Deo?
I didn't tell them what I was about to do.
Oh my God.
So he thinks I'm singing a song for Mother's Day. But I'm singing a song to tell everybody I'm out of here. I said, this is my last time. I can't do this anymore.
Oh my God.
On ASAP. I can't do this anymore. I've been lying to all of you. This is not the fault of Pops. This is my fault. And I've messed up, I said. Then I sang a song called These Tears I Cried or whatever. And I sang the song and I never came back. I left.
Do you need a tissue?
Then I did. Tissue wasn't enough.
Because you're actually teary-eyed.
You knew that, right? You didn't know that story? You were not there. So I came out and I told everybody, and I didn't give details or show pictures. And,
right.
Hey, watch this now.
So after that, Pops knew that you were going to do this?
She didn't know. And
no one knew.
And according to Winnie Mariano, she was with Ariel Rivera backstage, Pops, Ariel, and Winnie. And when that happened, Pops literally fainted. She just dropped to the ground. I only know this. I've only heard this story like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Sabi ni Winnie, do you know what you did? I said, I know what I did. No, do you know what you did? Because backstage, she faints. Ariel picks her up. Ariel and Winnie literally carry Pops to the back door out of the studio of ASAP so that people would not go to her for questions. Oh, what happened? What happened?
Yeah.
So they sent her home. She was home even before I left the studio. I didn't know that.
Did you answer questions after that?
Nope, I was gone. I left and I went to the States and I became whatever a-holes become.
Wow.
Yeah, it was something I think I needed to do, and it was such a load off my shoulder. But more than anything, I wanted people to stop looking at Pops faking it.
Right.
She needed to be real about it, and for the sake of our kids, for the sake of the future.
Correct.
For Pops, I wasn't thinking of myself, but for Pops. And then the interviews came. All over San Diego, wherever I was hiding in San Diego, I was hiding in Las Vegas.
So endorsements,
done. Phone, no, the phone never rang. It was a phone back then. It wasn't ringing anymore. Nobody wanted Martin anymore, except for an interview like this to see what really happened. And every interview became more revealing than the next, with matching, almost telling names,
Yeah.
wrong choices, everything. And I just kept on saying that this is not the fault of Pops.
So how long did the dark years last?
Wow. That happened like 96, I think, or 97.
97.
It
Probably
was
98.
long time.
Probably 97. Hindi 97 eh. Kasi I was telling Robin 97, nakita pa tayo sa Fridays. And you even gave Heaven a nickname.
What did I say?
Venico.
I did?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Robin was like, is this the first time no. I saw you when you were young. Your family was at Fridays.
Fridays.
Me, Geneva, and Heaven were at Fridays. And then me and Heaven went up to you guys and you had Heaven on your lap and you said, I'm going to call you Venico. You said that. Weird, no? I still remember that.
It's weird that I don't remember it.
That's what you said. Venico.
That's how numb I am about
Yeah.
everything that happened in the past. I forgot. Even the interviews I said I had, I don't remember what I said.
So dark years in the States.
Very dark.
What'd you do when you came here?
The first thing I did is I looked for friends. There were two. You know who your friends are when you mess up,
I
all
know,
right?
right?
You know, right?
Yes.
So I went to some friends and I this is the funny story. I told my friends, I want to change my look. Everything. I want to change everything. I want to be a platinum blonde.
Really?
Platinum blonde.
Yeah.
So I went to the first salon that I found, and only to find out that the one doing my hair, this is not even a joke, this is for real. Says, "Oh my God, I'm such a fan. I'm Filipino." And he says, this and that. I said, "And what is your name?" And you know what his name is? Pops. I'm not even joking. His name, or her name rather, I'm sorry. Her name was Pops. And he or she would dress the way Pops did he opens the closet door and it's all posters of Pops and a few with me. And this person's about to dye my hair.
Oh, sunog.
Sunog. They first burn it or something. They do something before they put the color, right?
Yeah.
During that process, I said, F this. And I got off my chair and left. My hair was red for 2 months. Hindi dumating sa proseso
platinum.
ng platinum. Red siya. Like Ronald McDonald red. Walang biro. And it was a mistake. I can't do this. No, Martin, it's not finished yet because we have to burn it. I don't want this anymore. And I left. We became very good friends though. That Pops. You know him. Lives now in Manila.
Okay. So, wow. Shout out to you, other Pops.
Or Robert.
Robert.
Robert by day, Pops by night.
So what happened? So what happened after that?
So after that, I was nice enough to meet some really nice people in Las Vegas who were not even fans, but became really good friends. This guy had a house with many houses inside his house, like a small storage house, kind of like this.
Right.
And he cleared it all out and said, "You can stay here." I stayed in his little storage house.
Wow.
There was a kitchen, a couple of bathrooms. I shared it with some of my best friend from Hawaii, Wanda, and we all stayed in this house. And all I would do, and this is no joke, during the day, not because of earnings, but because I had nothing else to do, I would wash all this person's nice cars. That was my therapy, washing cars, cleaning, waxing, Mercedes, Rolls Royce.
What did your dad say?
Oh, mom and dad were furious. I mean, everybody just left me alone. They felt I had to go through this process. Nobody wanted to say one thing or the other. My brother was a pastor. That was already an issue in itself. Now, how can my brother, who's a pastor, not fix my marriage?
Right.
So I didn't want to make him look bad, so I stayed away from him.
Right.
My dad and mom had their own issues in their own marriage, and I didn't want to be part of that either. So I really just disappeared from the face of the
So
earth.
it was really a dark part of your life.
Very, very dark. And there were many times I tried to go back when I'd see the kids, give them their pasalubongs, and then there were a couple of times where it was really a pathetic sight where I'd be on my knees,
Right.
hugging the knees of Pops. Please give me a chance. Here's my cell phone. Here's my car keys. Here's everything, my passport. I won't go anywhere anymore. Let's go to marriage counseling. Whatever you want, please. But I was too late. She was already enjoying her life.
Right.
As she should, because she's very young. I married her very young. So she doesn't know that part of life yet. And now she's enjoying it. Now you want to go back with me? I don't want you anymore. You missed your opportunities to get out of here, and that was a bad time. And I deserved it. I'm not saying that she shouldn't have done that, but I just want you all to know that there were times, and I don't even know if Robin knows, that I really tried to go back. But you cannot go back with 1 foot. You have to go back with 2 feet.
Yes.
Meaning to say, I have still this relationship kind of fizzling out because
Yes.
I'm telling this girl, I really want to I've never given my family a chance, but I'm still thinking about you, but I still love you, but no, it cannot be.
Kumbaga, safety.
You
there.
cannot. You have to go 2 feet. It's a leap of faith. So the day that I did go in with 2 feet, broke it off with Katrina, and went back to Pops, it was too late.
So now you ended up with 0.
That's what happens. A-holes watching. If you try to play 2, you will lose both. Play
Yes.
2, lose both. Remember that.
Totally agree.
And I was like that for years. Miserable. Miserable.
When did you eat your humble pie?
The day that I was sleeping in my office, which is smaller than this garage, sleeping under my desk, my hugging, your hugging pillow.
Yeah.
May hugging pillow ka ba?
Yung
One
hug,
here and
yeah.
one you hug.
Yeah.
Should really be your wife, by the way. Just
But she's in the hotel, di ba?
whatever. But you should be hugging your wife. Anyway, my hugging pillow was the garbage can under
Really?
that's when on a mattress this thick, like 4 inches thick. That's when I knew rock bottom. Phone never rang. No one cared what happened to me. I didn't have any place to go. And then of course, Pops did all the right things. The annulment and all of that. There was no friction, no masamang loob. Basta
This was in the Philippines,
clean
no?
slate, all in the Philippines.
Wow.
That's when I knew that I had nothing. And then one day someone took a chance. Let's do a show.
Who?
Well, remember first, I started coming out in all the shows, Boya Bunda,
Yeah.
Sharon Cuneta.
Just to talk and then...
Yeah, but I came back thinner, newer, short hair, different zombie. And all the TV shows like that. And they would want to ask the questions you're asking now, no? But back then it was different. It was painful. It was like pulling out a finger
Yeah.
or a fingernail.
Parang sariwa pa di ba? Or
Yeah,
putting it back
sobrang.
into that wound.
Sobrang fresh yung wound. Sobra.
Yeah.
And they're not even picking at an old wound. It's still fresh, as you
Right.
say. And it became a career of me telling my story, and it became a thing. Now I'm trying to tell the people it's okay to not be okay.
Amen.
It's okay to make a mistake. I'm not concert king because I have a perfect marriage
Right.
or I'm a perfect man.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not.
Correct.
So now my image and my everything that I was before, even my voice got lower because I wasn't that cocky singer anymore who was singing octaves so high because I was living the life.
But then again, what happened was you became authentic.
Authentic and very, very humble. That
Yeah.
humbled me the most.
Yeah.
Is I'm not indestructible. I'm not Superman pala. I lost the years with my kids. They were just babies. And I let that go. That
Right.
was my biggest regret.
Na hindi mo na may babalik.
Nope. I never watched him play sports. I didn't teach him a sport. We played catch. Huh? We didn't play sports. It was mostly video games and toys. But you know what? But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We didn't have that father and son time, and and that's all my fault. All my fault. I deserved it, but still, look at the fruits of our labor. Look at
I know, no?
the what do you call it? The consequences of the decisions we make in life.
So now, let's go back. Your relationship with your kids and ASAP and all that stuff, right? So, who took a chance at you again when you were just in your office, hugging your basura and your pillow, and that was it?
It took a while, a long time of nothing, talaga zero.
Were you expecting anything?
No naman. And I wasn't not in the mood to do anything anyway.
Did you actually think, I'm done?
Yes.
Oh,
So I said, I'm done. So I want to start over. So I joined the only thing I still had existing was a gym membership at the Shangri-La, which is 24 hours.
okay.
So I was there at 3 a.m, 2 a.m. I was there during that was my spot. And I would be running and lifting and running. And then one day I started doing, small shows, Very, very small. Not even a concert, not even a show, just guesting here,
Yeah.
guesting there. And then someone took a chance and said, let's do a show at the Folk Arts Theater the way you started your career. So what I did in 1982, August 21, 1982, I did again. Maybe it was like 2 or 3 years that I had nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing.
Wow. Now, when you did your show again at the Folk Arts and you had to go out on stage, remember, when you did it in 1982, no scars. It was pure thoughts. Doing it back again, now you had the scars and all that. Was it easy to emulate Martin of 82, or was it a different Martin in terms of
Completely different. It was the
Ayun.
Martin's, not Martin, not, I wanted to say scorned, but it's the woman who was scorned. But it was a broken Martin rebuilding himself in front of everybody. Because my music was my music. No
Yeah.
matter how many years, make it, break it, you're a failure or a success, you're a good husband, you're a bad husband. Your songs are your songs.
yes?
But they meant something else.
Uh-huh.
At that point in my life, it meant something else, and the way I sang it. But worse pa, I became a stand-up comic, and my material was about being an a-hole.
Who wrote it?
I wrote everything.
Really?
I didn't even write it. It just happened. Because can you imagine one of the shows I did, and the ones who picked me up off my feet was Crossover.
Okay.
They started wanting to have shows, okay, and like regular shows.
Yes.
And then Maxi Media, which is now Star Media.
Yes.
I did 71 shows on stage in Greenbelt. I mean,
Wow.
I started making and breaking records on my own, in
Right.
my own small way. But anyway, that's not even the story. Can you imagine my show in Davao was almost 4 hours long
Because of the spiels.
because of the spiels. And I'm stupid enough to go to the audience and let the audience speak. And there was a woman who asked me why I left Pops. Sa inis ko, sa pikon ko, at sa situation ko,
Sensitive pa rin, eh,
as
no?
the new Martin, but very sensitive, that's a very sensitive topic, I let her have it. I told her the whole truth. The way I'm telling you now, but even more graphic because I
Right.
remember. And then the whole audience is watching. It was so long. Walang biro to. Si Tito Louie Ocampo was asleep on his keyboard like that. Yung next song, Toto Medley.
Oh my God.
Hold the line.
Thank you. Yeah.
Ganun siya. Ganun siya. Natulog ah. That's how long. Ask Marvin Carrito was the second keyboard. We went all over outer city to outer city to outer city. One night in Cebu. You know, when I was in Bacolod was after Cebu,
Wow.
right?
Oh my God.
The next day.
And then?
Sa pagod ko, right before, this is the truth, right before going on stage, I was asleep on the wing. They said, Mark, you're on. That's how tired I was.
Grabe, no?
And I was really in shape then. Labas si Martin. Cebu! This is Bacolod.
Oh
to.
my God.
Cebu! And then I don't know who was playing this, maybe Chito. He goes, Mark, Bacolod. Cebu doesn't smile like you in Bacolod. You city of smiles. Oh, shit.
Talaga pick up, ha?
And ooh, to applause. Yung ganon. Anyway, during that Davao show, again, going back there, it was, I mean, I was that kind of an artist. A lot of talking, too much information, but all at my expense.
Good.
All jokes about me, never putting down the mother of my
Anybody, yeah.
children or nothing, just talking about how failed, how wrong I was, but in the form of jokes. I can't even share with you anything that I said.
Kasi spontaneous, eh, nung time
Right
na yun,
on
eh.
the spot. And that's when I became a different performer. I became the performer who can just talk about himself in a negative way and still get the applause. Because at the end of my negativity, here's the moral of the story. This is what I've learned. So people they become more, I'm like humanizing myself to the people.
Yes.
I'm not the superstar. I'm not the concert king. Like you, I make mistakes.
Yes.
Like you, I have to pick myself up off the ground. And that's of all the things I learned in my life, in my 38 years in show business, it's the only talent I think I have that I learned and do well. It's not singing. It's definitely not dancing. It's not even hosting. It's learning how to pick myself up off the ground and start all over again.
Amen.
That is a talent.
And you know what? Ang maganda, based on your story, when you gave your fans or the audience the opportunity to forgive you.
Well, forgive is a big word, Paco.
Maybe.
I don't think I was ever forgiven, but they learned to go with it.
Okay.
I mean, if I can go with it, I'm the one performing. If I can go with it, so can you. I mean, I remember when Greenbelt was the mall to go
I know.
to. Greenbelt 2, it's called now, but then it was called Greenbelt. I'm shopping there and I'm walking in the mall and then I see a nun, a very small nun with a payong walking toward me. So she's looking at me like, you know when someone's about to say hi, right? You're making eye contact. She's walking close. She goes, and I went, here comes the smile. Before I could say hello, boom! She hits me with the payong. Oh, bakit po? Sabi ko, bakit po? Are you okay? What's wrong? Bakit iniwan mo si Pop? She hit me again. In the middle of Greenbelt. So, Ramir, my assistant Ramir before, Sir, no, wait. Sabi, bakit po? Ano bang ginawa ko sa'yo? Worst Tagalog back then. And she goes, why did you leave Pops? I said, wait. I did not leave Pops. I failed her.
There you go.
I failed her and she kicked my ass out. Rightfully so. But if you're going to hit me for the right reason.
Right.
I didn't leave her. I failed her. So she said, bakit po? Kaya alam mo naman, fan na fan. We became so sweet to the point na nagiyakap-yakap kami afterwards. We were hugging each other and she apologized. She said, no, please hit me again if you want. It's okay.
Oh.
But that's how serious this became. This is a real life teleserye for real.
Ako na-depress ako eh. So ako nga affected ako. Ano pa kaya yung mga diehard, di ba?
Yeah.
Only because, you know, you were epitomized eh. Yun ang problema eh. Na people look at us and the expectation is too high that when we fail it, boom, all of a sudden we're the person responsible for everybody else.
Yeah. It's like it's my fault that we had these awful diseases and viruses. It's my fault the world wasn't revolving the way it should. It's my fault that there was so much stereotype. The Black Lives Matters, that's my fault. All of that became my fault because the marriage of the year did not make it.
Yes.
You know? And then when I started telling people, like Sharon Cuneta, classic question, what do you do now? I said, now that you're not with Pops. I said, I took it a different way. I said, well, when she's not home, mali ang dating. Well, when she's not home, I go to the house. I literally sit there. Remember we used to have a park in front of the house with swings? I sit in the swing and watch when she comes home. I sit on the swing to watch when she leaves the house. When she leaves the house, I ring the doorbell and the maid lets me in the house. I said, I just want to go to the boys' room, and I would hug their pillows and smell the pillows of my children. That's how pathetic I was. That's how much I missed my kids and how sorry I was. Can you imagine a grown man smelling pillows? And Sharon lost it. The host of the show was in tears. I just go, when she leaves, I go to the house. Sometimes I take a nap in one of the kids' room and I smell their pillows. And then I leave.
Wow.
It's true. I don't want to smell your pillow now. Not now. Back then, it smelled like a baby Robin. But now it's like, what did he eat? I mean, when's the last time you washed this damn pillowcase? That's now. But back then, you didn't even know that. I used to go to your room and sleep in your room.
Wow.
Until I was asked him, can I siya babalik? No.
So, you've missed a lot of your kids. Wow. You've missed a lot of your kids growing up years. How are you catching up?
Like now, today.
I know.
This is how. I mean, I try to be as good a father as I can, being that I'm pulled this way and that way, and then I have to be here. Then we have a special son naman. And not that I should favor him over my other two kids who were not on the spectrum. But I became a guilty father thinking I was responsible for my son being on the spectrum. And you just can't help but think that way, you know. And that I'm just so blessed that Robin and Ram seem to understand my position. But I try my best to be the best father I can with what I have.
Ang cute mo nga eh. Like, thank you for both of you giving me the opportunity to see both sides. You, a worried dad. Ito naman, a grown-up son. Parang, usap nga kayong dalawa. Have you seen Robin? Hey, your dad's looking for you.
Yeah, I remember. He told you?
I was there.
Paco, where's my son? Can you please make sure he knows what he's doing?
But, di ba? So we got Robin. I mean, because Robin lives in the States and ako ang kuya ni Robin. So, you know, like, are you okay? Ako rin naman, like when he's in the house, text me when you get home.
Yeah.
He wouldn't text me when.
Me too.
So
I'm
you're
the only
not-
guy he doesn't reply to. He's holding his phone 24/7, but he never replies to me.
So that relation now, can you actually say that you're a dad first before a performer?
Oh, I have to be. I mean, now more than ever, because I don't know how much longer I can be doing this. I'm 58 years old.
You don't look it.
Well, I don't feel it. Sometimes I feel much older, but minus all the aches and pains, and then that now we've lost ABS-CBN, and it's another slap on my egotistic face. What am I going to do next? But you know, the one thing you can always, and I'm sure you can relate, the one thing you can always remember or fall back to is know that you have this more meaning in your life than your profession, your career, your money, your whatever, your fame. All of that is temporary, but fatherhood is forever.
Yeah, that's true. Amen. Speaking of ABS-CBN, how did, I mean, and the egotistic self, ang dami na apektuhan. Like, 11,000 people, not counting the C-level employees, but just everybody.
Yeah, it's very, very sad. When it happened, I've never spoken about it. And I'm glad I didn't, because I would not be able to hold back either the tears or the very bad words.
Were you guys expecting a shutdown?
No, actually, we, the artists, no. And that for, if anything, if I'm ever going to be upset with ABS-CBN for anything, or maybe it's my fault, that I really didn't go out of my way to find out more about the rumors we were hearing.
Right.
We didn't expect it. I mean, you cannot please everybody. And if you're going to upset anyone, don't upset anyone upstairs, if you know what I'm trying to say.
The Penthouse.
The Penthouse. Don't upset the guy in the Penthouse, because that's just how it is in any part of the world, not just the Philippines.
Yes.
That's just the way it is. And being the humble servants of the people upstairs, we must play by their rules.
Yeah.
It's their rules that we live by. That's how we get sanity. That's how we get success. That's how we try and avoid failure, because we're following the rules set for us. Are they the right rules? Are they the right people to make the rules? That's not for me to say. All I can say is when it happened on May 5, when they shut us down, is the word surreal?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the right word? Because really, is this really happening?
Parang
No.
rumor lang, tapos biglang,
No.
it's in your face na
Tapos
now.
lumabas yung boss ko sa TV, we have to we're going off the air. Biglang colored bars and black.
Where were you when that
I
happened?
was at home, not believing it. I was just getting ready for my own little Facebook live thing that I was doing every night.
Martin in the house.
Yeah, we did that to keep company everyone who was in quarantine, because there was nothing to do. So I figured maybe you want to hear some music. My twin sister, who doesn't sing anymore, although that's her first love, we thought we'd do it. And during that time, while preparing, we're pulled off the air. There was no reason why, no warning. Hey, baka we might on May 5 be prepared. No, nothing. So it was like the rug was just pulled out from under our feet. And then to take it to all these hearings, and I watched every single one, and to hear how my bosses were being talked to, and the things that they were revealing in the past, even as early as the 60s, even as to the birth of Gabby Lopez. I mean, all of the why are we going so far back? Why is this becoming a personal thing when it could just be, this is what you did wrong, you didn't pay the taxes here, or whatever it is, so you need to do all of this, and then we'll put you back on the air. How easy is that? But it had to become a mudslinging thing, and to see my bosses with eyes of children at Christmas not knowing what to expect when they open their gifts, that kind of look,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then to come out with respectful words, hindi po dahil and they're having to answer for things that happened even before they were born, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To see that, what a painful process. I've been with ABS-CBN, a proud kapamilya, for the last 30 plus years. The day they first came back on the air, I was the first artist to come to the new ABS-CBN. I was the composer and singer of their first jingle. And then when TFC came, I was the composer and ambassador to TFC. And then I became Bantay Bata's very first ambassador when we only had 25 kids. I was the first of many, many things of
You've been there
ABS-CBN.
since that peg was a...
When they came back and said, we're here to stay, or we're here, or we have come back, the song was ABS-CBN, it's
Right.
great to see you again.
That's you.
ABS-CBN, it's great to see you again. And now
Yeah.
it's da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
So, I have so much invested in this
Meron pang
station.
the big show, di ba? Yung mga-
Many. And then, so yung Penthouse Live from Channel 7 became Pops and Martin together, number together. The Not So Late Night with Edu, the Late Night Show with Edu became the Not So Late Night Show
Right,
with Edu.
right.
And then TV Patrol and so on and so on. And then everything became a show. Then ASAP came and the rest is history.
I
So
was there when you guys did ASAP. Oh, guest pa ako dun.
I remember when we ended, they wanted to turn Penthouse Live into a variety show,
Yes.
which later became Tonight with Dick and Carmi.
Yes.
That was the new concept for Penthouse Live. So Pops would have to have been a little bit on the sexier. Martin would have to be a little bit on the funnier,
Right.
And then these are the people, actors they were going to put into the show. Regina was supposed to be there, Jano, so many. It's supposed to be one big variety
So
show.
it was changing na talaga, no?
Exactly. And that's when Pops and I looked at each other and said, we don't want this to happen to the show that made us meet and so the
Yes.
history. So we ended it.
At least na how do you say it? Na immortalize ba or yeah, parang ganun eh.
We didn't want it touched.
Yeah.
And it was, what was so nice? People who first came out on Penthouse Live, like the Rage Band, Regine Velasquez, Gary Valencian, all these people started they all came uninvited just to say thank you to Penthouse Live. And then so we left and we never came back until it became ASAP.
Wow.
And then ASAP, as you know, is still on the air. But when ABS-CBN went through all these hearings and they had to go through such torture, such disrespect, such awful. If I'm having dinner in your house or in any house, there's manners, there's certain,
Yes.
and to think
May
that
decorum yan eh.
they decorum, and especially when it comes to the House of President Congress
Yeah.
in Congress, they have so much respect, which is like by the book kind of respect.
Yeah.
Where I have to acknowledge their presence before you speak. Can I be recognized? I have a manifestation. Instead of going, no, that's not true. You cannot talk like that. They have to practice the proper
Yeah.
respect. Yet, when they would speak to the likes of a Cory Vidaniez, and you say the words to a woman and speak to her in that manner, it's so not gentleman, it's so not polite, it's so not Filipino, and it's so not whatever the rules are in that room.
So you guys were watching this and what were you feeling aside from being appalled na parang, is this really happening? Did you guys feel na this is not gonna go in our favor?
While it was going on, I really thought there was still hope. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just that kind of a guy, no? I really felt that I was even worried about making this trip to LA. I said, what if we get the franchise? We might go live and I'll be in LA or Las Vegas. I'm going to miss that party, I was thinking, should I stay another day or two until...
Right.
And they said that, it's up to you, blah, blah, blah. But I never once thought that we didn't have a chance. I didn't once think we're going to get it. I didn't once think, no, for sure, we're not going to get it. But I knew for sure that we had a chance.
How about this? Believe it or not, I was talking to important people at GMA. And I heard about ABS-CBN being off the air. This was back in May. So this is what GMA said. Temporary lang yan. They'll be back. Even them were surprised na it would go this far.
For a lot of us, and again, GMA has been so fair about all of this. It's really so sad that we had such a kunyari rivalry. Kailangan yun eh. But to know that they're behind us now,
Yeah.
that is such a nice gesture and nice feeling and shows you the true colors of
Magkakampila,
GMA7.
yeah.
You can't have just one network or two networks.
Yes.
GMA7, amazing station. I started there for heaven's sakes.
Yeah.
ABC5, another station that great quality, great people behind the station. They need maybe more content, but nothing wrong with any of the stations. But you take one away, the other two cannot last without
Correct.
it. We need each other.
Interdependent yan eh, di ba?
Diba? But it's like a chair. If you take out one of the legs, it's gonna fall. It's gonna fall.
Yeah.
So we need you even just to make a stand, to help us stand,
Yes.
to help us keep this chair standing or this table standing. We need you there. Kailangan isang poste.
It's like a band.
Exactly.
Tatlong miyembro sikat, yung dalawa hindi sikat, but it doesn't mean hindi mo kailangan yung dalawang
Exactly.
miyembro. You need every component.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for us to be a force or to be envied by the world, we need to have more networks, more artists, more how we do the news, fair and balanced news. I mean, I'd like to think we are, although we're being accused of not being. And all of those accusations, cannot fight. I will not fight anyone because really, you're really entitled to your own opinion.
Exactly.
Diba? But don't make your opinion be our destiny.
Correct.
You get mo? I mean,
Yeah.
ang dami na wala ng trabaho during a time when people are already losing work, losing their lives to a virus. That's where our concentration should be and where it was until all of this happened. Now, did we do wrong? Most probably. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there is smoke, there's fire. Definitely, we had lots of smoke. But we can put out the fire.
Yes.
Let us put out the fire and start from ashes all over again.
Yes. I remember when I was getting my green card, hindi binigay yung green card ko on that specific day. So I thought pauwi na ako sa Pilipinas. And then the consul, the officer at the immigration office in downtown LA said, "Here are the requirements." Ganyan. Pick 2 out of the 11. Pick 2. Fulfill them. I'll give you your green card. Like what you just said.
Yeah.
It's not something that could not be fixed. Pwedeng ayusin yan eh.
Yeah.
What's the goal ba talaga, di ba?
Exactly. That's it. What's the goal ba talaga?
Kasi yung officer, kung ang goal niya pauwi na ako sa Pilipinas, he would have said, "I need you to complete all 11. Kundi umuwi ka." Ang sabi niya, pick 2. So alam mo yung puso niya is, I want you to
I
stay.
want you to stay. I want your dream to happen.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
But in the case of ABS-CBN, it's been years of back and forth. And I just don't think that the likes of Carlo Katikbak, Mark Lopez, Cory Vidanies, my whole team of ABS-CBN, I don't think they deserve to be spoken to that way. If we did something wrong, let's be professionals naman.
Yes.
How much do I owe you? Billions? Okay. How many years will it take me to pay this? I can't pay it without a station.
Yeah.
Give me a chance to improve the mistakes made in the past.
Amicable settlement.
In the past.
Yes.
Now, whatever other things we did wrong with not showing certain campaign speeches I don't know the logistics and the rules, but if you're going to make a decision where 11,000 plus people's lives are at stake,
Yes.
do not make that decision out of spite, out of anger, out of wanting to get back at you, revenge. If that's the driving force, we didn't need the 70 or the 11 votes. We didn't even have to even do this.
Right.
Just tell us you're done, finished. But to go there and have to humiliate us, to
I
belittle
know,
us,
yeah.
it was, I mean, if you look at the score, 70 to 11, God bless the 11.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being bold and for being true and for thinking of someone other than yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
We did wrong, but you're not thinking about the wrong.
Let's make it, yeah.
Because you know we can make it right.
Yes.
You know if you give us this chance, you give us a franchise, we can make it right and you're willing to wait and gamble with us. It's a leap of faith either way, even for us.
True.
Because now the pressure and the microscope lenses will be all on us.
Di ba mas ibig sabihin mas may pag-asa to correct it.
Exactly.
Again, second chance to eh.
And everyone will be our judge.
Yes.
You get mo?
Are we worthy? Are we worthy? Di ba may ganun?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the 70 people who went against it, they did not even hesitate. That's for me. They didn't, we know we're going to be unemploying a lot of people, but we have to do this. Why? Give us a chance. We can do better.
Nice. And we're back. So, here's my question. Is ABS-CBN, in your opinion, able to pivot to a la Netflix?
Oh, they've been trying that already. But
Maybe time to downshift and really go.
Maybe they saw this coming, and that's why they have other alternatives, and also because times are changing. I mean, remember, we're talking about I think if I'm understanding it correctly, we're talking about free TV.
Yeah.
That's the one that we need to show because not everyone has Netflixable.
Right.
They're not Netflixable.
Right.
You know, and those who are Netflixable, and they're the ones who benefit from different avenues, different journeys, different
Yeah.
trials and errors, and in the likes of I Want TV or of cable TV or where everything is going now. I Want TV is like our version of a Netflix.
Okay.
You can get there, you have the best of the movies and TV shows and so on. You can rewatch it over and
Pwedeng
over again.
ganon.
That's what they're doing, but they were already doing it with our free TV channel 2. That's the franchise. That's the frequency that we needed to get back so we can entertain, inspire, and inform everyone, not just those who are Netflixable.
And nakakatawa, like YouTube, for instance.
We have that too.
Magugulat, di ba? Ang daming may YouTube. And maybe it's time for ABS-CBN to actually dig more in the pocket and let's bring more into the free YouTube space.
Sure.
And, just, malay mo, in a few years, bumalik ang franchise. Now you have all these. Is that possible?
I think anything is possible. I don't know if if everything you mentioned is going to happen tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
I think many tomorrows from now, and we just have to get used to the new normal. And the new normal means a network in the Philippines that's missing. And that's sad to say because ang daming nagdidepend sa free television on
Yeah.
Channel 2.
Yeah.
TFC is still there, so we have that to show some of the shows, if not all the shows that are still. They're going to choose now what shows are going to survive and what shows they can't afford to do anymore.
Is ASAP still
So
around?
far, ASAP is still one of the shows that's fulfilling, giving content to these other channels, these other avenues that we're talking about, the other platforms, like on YouTube, like on TFC. It's important that we have content, or everyone's going to lose complete interest in us. So we have to keep everybody still involved, still inspired, still informed, any way and every way we can.
Martin in the house. What's the plan for that?
Well, really, there was really no plan.
Really?
It all started with they had this fundraiser called Bayanihan Musikahan.
Yeah.
That Ryan Kayabyab had spearheaded, and all the artists wanted to be part of it. They made
Yeah.
over 100+ million
Yes.
pesos for the needy, for those who need it the most.
Artist included.
No, we didn't make any.
Yun ang point ko eh.
No. But they had some fundraisers for the artists. Oh, you
Okay.
mean for those who were starving, or just?
Yeah, of course, because
Yes.
in our thread,
No.
I'm part of that thread. I'm like, okay, I see a Martin Nievera, I see a Kulidesma,
Yes.
and then I see somebody I don't know. So there are A-listers in our group, there are B-listers, and there are the starvings in our group. And I'm
Right.
like, did anybody reach out to them?
You're right. You're absolutely. In fact, that was one of the conversations I've had with the likes of Trina Bilamide.
Yeah.
Bilamide.
She's our moderator, di ba?
Yeah. Also with the likes of Twinkie,
Yeah.
like the Mayo. All of them were concerned also about the musicians, even those who gig at night,
Yes.
who don't have gigs anymore.
Yes.
My musicians don't work. If I don't work, they don't work.
Yes.
So in the many different types of fundraisers that Bayanihan Musikahan spearheaded, there was also one for the musicians.
Nice.
And the production people, and the directors, and the freelance workers, the people who do the lights, the sound.
Yes.
Everyone was part of this. Was it enough? I don't know. But it's still going on. So one day they said, Martin, can you do one for Bayanihan Musikahan? Do what? I don't even know how to turn on my Facebook. I don't even know what that was.
I was laughing at the thread because you were talking to everybody going, how do I operate this?
Absolute. Oh, in my garage or in one of my cabinets, I had a mixer full of dust. The one you used to use when you were in town. A couple of speakers, the one he used to use also. A couple of microphones. In my car, I have the microphone ready for concerts that I use, a concert microphone. So I said, how am I going to make all this work? So Jaime Godinez of Soundcheck
Yes, came to your house.
talked me through it.
Talk to you.
Change my mixer, give me another one just as small, taught me how to do everything one by one. This was the whole reason why we did Martin in the House, was just to be able to do Bayanihan Musikahan.
Okay.
And when I did it, no joke, it was an iPad, and right next to the microphone of the iPad was a speaker. That was it. And my -1, right? That's it,
Yeah.
because I don't play an instrument. So that was the whole thing, and then it graduated to saying, Hey, you know what? Let's just keep doing this.
Yeah.
Let's keep people company during this to make sure that they go home and that they stay home, especially the essential workers who came home after a hard day's work or whatever. Some people in the hospitals, all the frontliner heroes, they would watch during their break,
Yes.
during the 9 to midnight hour. They have a lot of breaks. I even wrote a couple of songs just for them. So it became a thing. And then Tita Vicky, my God, my twin sister, she's so depressed right now because I'm not in Manila to be able to do the Facebook Live, and she loves to sing.
Wow.
And she doesn't know how to do anything. I barely know what I'm doing. So that's why we said, let's just keep this going. It's not about money. We're not a fundraiser. We're a bridge for other fundraisers, maybe,
Yes.
But I didn't want to abuse it. There's already a donor's fatigue going on out there. I don't want to mislead the people to think that I'm riding on the coattails of fundraising season, But this virus has really changed everything in our lives. And if we cannot help our own, they say that charity begins at home.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm very passionate about giving work to my musicians. I've already making -1s. I don't even need these -1s. But maybe one day I will, because the new normal seems to be something here where I can't
Right.
have a band.
Right.
But at least I can employ
Them
some
doing
people, fundraisers. I did one already the other day with our friend
Joseph Bayan,
Yeah,
yeah.
Joseph Bayan. And anyway, that one I went for schools.
Yes.
Because the students in other parts of the Philippines can't afford to even do social distancing.
Correct.
They cannot, and this is their mask like this. I mean, it's so sad that we have to think of people in different levels, in
I
different classifications. Like you were saying, the class A to the whatever. During this pandemic, during this virus, we're all even.
Yeah.
Walang rich, walang poor, walang
Yes.
yung sikat, yung A, what did you call
Zero.
them?
A-listers.
A-listers, wala na. We're all the same. I am officially just another musician trying to figure out how I'm going to get my next meal. And most musicians, they call them starving musicians. We're not joking. We're really starving. Should you be sympathetic to us because we're musicians, we're artists? We're people too.
And sometimes people forget that.
We're people too. Musicians are people too. You know what? I've said this once. I'll say it again here in your show. Musicians for me are the ones who should be in front.
Thank you.
Because I don't know how to play the drums. I don't know how to play the bass or the guitar. I don't know how to do any of that. And I'm the one on the poster? How did that happen? How did you find the least talented person to be the star of the show? Explain that to me.
But you really are a star, huh?
But you get my point?
I got your point.
That's why I'm saying it's important to worry about the musicians because they are the talented ones. They studied their whole life. They have
Yes.
broken marriages. They have
Yes.
no girlfriend. They have no life because they're spending their
Yes.
time learning their
Yes.
craft while I take a nap and worry about, is there going to be a teleprompter?
True.
You see, can you balance this out and see how important it is to feed your musicians?
Thank you. Let's
so true.
Let's digest that because it's true talaga eh. And I didn't want to say anything on the Bayanihan Musikahan thread, but that's how I felt. I actually go, parang may mali. We're raising a lot of money, and this was the first few up to the Lea Salonga fundraising, and I was like, why aren't we talking about the rest of the musicians here? And then I would private chat them and go, were you offered an honorarium? No.
The ones performing, you mean?
Yung mga nag-perform na, were you offered an honorarium? No. Because, okay, are we supposed to be assumed to be okay? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Again, you humanized us already eh. So parang nakakatuwa. Because of this day and age, may mga GoFundMe, Patreon, mga ganon. People are now aware, the fans are now aware that us musicians and artists, yeah, there was a heyday we were making the big bucks. Pero now, pantay-pantay na lahat ng kita. And they're willing to give when you ask. Or, I don't know. What am I missing?
You're missing also a lot. There's a lot of other fundraisers like Faith Over Fear. I don't know if you even know that. Faith Over Fear. There was one I just did for the musicians in Cebu and Davao. Do I know any of them?
No.
Absolutely not. But they're family.
Yes.
They're family. And if all I have to do is sing with my microphone like this on my little mixer, if that's all you
Raise
need me
money,
for,
yeah.
there's no reason. And that's why I tell all the other artists, you have to forget the word no.
Yes.
There's no more no. We cannot afford a no. Martin, can you do 3 songs? Can I send it to you? Sure. Boom, it's done.
Yeah.
However, what song do you want? Who do I am referring to? There have been other fundraisers, and I know for a fact, and I forgot that there's another name for it. It's an actual fund just for the musicians.
Amen.
Just so you know. But it's so hard to sell it to people.
Kasi nga may perception no?
So who are they? You pay them.
Yeah.
That's your problem now. No. We are all one.
Yes.
Not one richer than... I mean, can you imagine Lea Salonga? 0 talent fee.
No
0 honorarium. Nothing.
Yep.
But without hesitation, yes. Gary Valenciano, he did it 3 times.
Yeah.
He even did it on his 37th anniversary concert. It should have been all about him. It was a fundraiser.
Galing.
So if we can label it all, it's going to take us forever. I just know that there's another term, another word for the Bayanihan Musikahan presents, and that was all for the musicians
and
and production people.
If this is our new normal, nakakatuwa because ngayon natin nakikita there are a lot of generous people all over the world. No?
You're finding this out now. I mean, little did you know that the likes of whom, and I mean even here in Hollywood, how willing they are to come out, how willing their athletes are giving, are auctioning off their jerseys.
Yes.
They're calling up frontliners, hey, how are you doing? And then nagugulat yung mga frontliners, then nag-uusap sila sa mga idol nila sa baseball, sa American football. Everyone is really knowing now their worth, and they know that their worth is nothing. They're worthless unless they do something with their worth. And that's what I think the artists, the names, the big stars, the showbiz personalities, that's what we're all realizing now.
So, paano kayo nagkabati ni Gary Valenciano?
You want to know the truth? I'll tell you how. Because in the 90s, which is the decade you forgot to talk about, there was a time when Gary V and I were equal. You know why?
Why?
Because that was the era of the bands.
I wasn't going there yet.
I'm going there because we hated you guys. Intro Voice, River Maya, Eraserheads, True Faith, True Faith. And now
After Image,
After Image. I mean, the Dawn, just to name a few of the bands that took over. I'll never forget. This is the truth. I'm in Loyola, Ateneo, Loyola, doing a concert. Marinol has Eraserheads. Now try and guess how many people watched the concert king of the Philippines. Just take a guess.
Half?
Not even 200 people. Loyola. You know how big Loyola is?
Yes, okay. that whole,
Now, the 200 people, I think were part of the class that produced us. So actually, nobody came. Ask me how many people watched the Eraserheads. Intro Voice, ganun din.
Yeah.
When all the screaming girls went to the bands, nawala. Na even Steven, sila Martin and Gary. Nagiging even. Doon kami we're playing cards. Nagmamajong kami dalawa ni Gary. Ponga. Gary. Ponga. That was the time Gary V and I ate humble pie. We just became, referred to as, how about a Martin Nievera song? That's all we were.
Oh my God.
A song, a history, a peg. But we were in the dust, eating the dust of the likes of the Intro Voice.
But I was gonna go there. Actually, si Dave ko nga yung, kaya when you said, in the 80s, because we're saving the 90s.
I didn't know you were saving it. Thank you for saving the best for last, where you win.
No, because nakakatuwa nga talaga. Kasi kami ni na JJ, sabi namin, ang goal namin was to be like you guys, pero in a band setting. Because not everybody can sing like Martin Nievera. Not everybody can sing like Gary Valenciano. But we wanted to be as popular as you guys and all that stuff.
You did. And then some.
So, sabi namin, at least, if we do this collectively, isang tao lang yun, baka kaya natin. We tried.
Well, I'm sure you also had if we had more time, I would ask you about your competition with all the other bands. What did Intro Voice have that, let's say, the Eraserheads didn't have? What was your calling? I mean, I'm sure you also liked each other. What is it?
We did.
Friendship.
No, but yeah, that's true. I keep telling
That
people.
happens.
Yes.
That really happens. I know. You guys are still together.
Yeah, originally together. So, ang competition was, we were more like the Martin Nievera.
How so?
Kami yung mga balladeer.
Okay.
Kami, doon namin nakuha yung tao. Just being, that. And then, siguro, the pure energy, yun na yung mga nagra-rock. Iko-compare na natin sa mga Gary Valenciano style, di ba? But, your formula, sabi namin, kaya natin to eh. Si Jonathan has a very distinct voice. Not the best voice, but distinct voice, like you.
But when you hear it, you know it's intro voice. When you hear my voice, you know it's Martin. That's what you mean.
Yes, distinct, di ba? Like sabi ko, people can sing a Martin Nievera song, but they don't sound like Martin. So, we have that with Jonathan. But Jonathan can't talk. That's where I come in. I can talk like Martin. But, I'm no Martin, but at least I can, I have the gift of gab
In
too.
other words, madaldal. Just so you know. Okay.
So, sabi ko, dito tayo. Sundan natin ang formula ni Martin. So, that's what we did.
Oh, see? So I'm glad to help. Thank you very much.
Yes. Very true. That's why it's here. It's nice that you're here, that Robin's here. Because when I first met Robin as a musician, ang goal namin was to really return that favor.
Really? Thank you.
Kumbaga, papunta pa lang siya to do Wish. Kami babackup sa kanya sa intro voice. Sabi namin, let's do justice to Robin Nievera.
Well, but Robin can stand on his own. That's for damn sure. And just so you know, when people ask me, what is your best memory or best of all your concerts, of all the shows you've done, what was your very best? Can you believe that my answer has always been that same night? That same night when the bands took over, intro voice, all the names we mentioned, it just so happened the band that was kicking my ass was Eraserheads. Just right next door, Marino. That for me was my best performance. You want to know why?
Why?
That's the first time. Remember Tito Georgie, my manager at the time, comes up to me and says, Mart, sorry, but Mart, walang bumili ng ticket. No, Mart. He's thinking I'm going to freak. So he's saying, I'm not saying anything. I'm just calm. He's going, no, Mart. No, you know what? I'll get to the bottom of this, but you need to tell me, should we cancel? You still have time. There's 3 hours till the show. Should we cancel? I said, how many people are out there? Well, puro mga taga-production and all of their parents and all of that. Class of whatever. I forgot the name of the class. I'm so sorry. But I said, how many? 200. Mga 200. I said, so those 200 people came to watch me.
Correct.
I have to perform.
Amen.
For those 200 people. And to this day, empty seats everywhere, right? To this day, I don't remember a time I sang with so much passion. I sang like it was the last performance of my life. I didn't take out one song. Broadway medley, you know me, son. Every medley after medley, ginawa ko lahat until the very end. May encore pa.
Wow.
Yung 200 people standing ovation asking for more. That was the biggest and best moment of my life when I turned an awful experience into gold. And that for me is the lesson that we all need to learn.
Yep.
That you're never going to always be the concert king. So you need to treat your audience as the king. They deserve a performance that's fit for a king, whether they're 200 or 200,000. You give the same performance always.
Galing, no?
It's a true story. To this day, when people ask me, what's your best performance ever? It was when it was my worst, when no one came to watch.
Wow.
There's not too many artists that can say that they performed in front of nobody and gave the performance of their life.
Did you ever think na, okay, hindi ako mainit ngayon. I'm still Martin Nievera. I'm just gonna host. Because in the 90s, you had Martin Late at Night and you had Mad. What's the first? Mad or
Mad?
Mad. He had Mad and then...
No, because there's now, in our new life now, talk shows, unless it's a podcast or something on the internet, it's hindi na uso. I mean, I've been offered on other stations to do a talk show, but because of my loyalty to ABS-CBN, I said, I'll just wait If there's a new channel that's going to come out because cable was coming in,
Yeah.
as we're talking now it's a reality. Maybe they'll be looking for content and they'll allow me to do a talk show. But
Right.
it's not, people don't want slow talk anymore. They don't want slow, long talk. They want boom. If you watch Jimmy Kimmel, you watch Jimmy Fallon, you watch James Corden, if you watch their shows, the talk is very small.
Right.
Everything is gimmick, game,
Ang weird,
karaoke.
no? Ang weird.
Because of them. They want it fast and quick. Nobody has time except, again, for a podcast, right?
Because on a podcast, on this show, I had Odette Quesada for 2 hours.
See?
Guess what the comments were? Bitin.
See?
I bet you, yung kay Robin, ganun din, bitin. Kaya may part 2. I bet you, ang comment nila rito is, bitin.
This is what I'm saying. You have to really know who your following is. Television now, talk to any talk show host now, I'm sure that's their struggle. How they can keep themselves current, how they can keep themselves interesting in the new normal. And I don't mean the new normal of the because of the virus, the new normal of showbiz. No one has the
Right.
attention span they used to have. So to answer your question, no, it's never crossed my mind to do one more than the other.
Yeah.
I love to sing. I love to perform, and I love big and small audiences alike. Now, for me, my motto in life is there's no such thing as a small gig. There's no such thing
Ganda.
as a small gig. Because if you think, that's just 2 songs lang naman, wag na lang. Or how much will you charge for what am I, a prostitute? Don't ask me how much I will charge for 3 songs. Because I'm not going to give you 3 songs. I'm going to give whatever it is you're paying me.
Right.
I'm going to give you as much as I can.
Yes.
Not because I charge X amount per song.
Because it's like saying, I have to tell the whole story. I can't just
Exactly.
go once upon a time, the end.
This is what I usually tell people when there's inquiries. They're asking how many for this many songs. And I ask about I always ask, tell me what it's about. What's our purpose of this show? Is it for this or for that or for a charity, whatever? Sometimes I don't even charge because it's something I believe in.
Yes.
And I want to be part of it.
Yes.
I want to be responsible for
Yes.
helping these people. But sometimes you have to think to yourself, no matter if you're a new artist or an old artist, there's no such thing as a small gig. You have to attack it as if it were your last performance, and at the same time that it's your first.
Wow. Any advice for people like me and others trying to make it in the industry?
I should ask you the advice because you kids seem to be the ones who don't want to give up.
Have you given up?
During my time, a lot of us have given up, come back. This will be my last performance. Yung pala, it's not. Moral of the story, long story short, stop talking, just do it. Don't tell us what your plan is going to be. In a year from now, I'm going to... No, you're not. When I go to Hollywood, I'm going to be... No, you're not. But you know what? If I know and sing a duet with so-and-so, no, it's not going to happen. Stop talking about it. Just do it. And if you don't do it because you didn't talk about it, no one knows.
Now, before...
Right.
to other dads who have kids chasing their dreams. You have one of them, I have one of them. But what's your message to other dads with regard to their kids who are chasing their dreams?
It's hard because most dads, if not all dads, want to dream the dream for their kids. So the advice would be don't dream dreams for your children. Live long enough to see them realize it. That's always been my prayer for myself, is that I always ask God, I said, Lord, please, if anything, allow me to live long enough to see my children, all 3 boys, realize their dreams. And then I can say I died a happy man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Martin Nievera, live at
Thank
Paco's
you.
Place. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll have you back, huh?
Sure. How about Friday?
Good.
What, boy? Oh, seriously?